Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 62. I believe it is 62. Yeah. Now back with all 4 players. Had lost Felicia for one session. He was out Priden. Making us proud. God, I was so fucking bad. Anyways, like and subscribe for extremely unfunny jokes. This is a dad joke coming from the youngest member of this team. So I don't know what that says about us. Anyways, we're not here to chit chat. Well, actually we are, but about D&D stuff. I think we will just get right into it with the question of the day. Because, actually I should maybe... In these moments, because where there isn't a obvious question to ask, well, you know what? Yes, there is a question to ask, which is, I remember a point in time where Matt said that you now have like 8 late game quests, basically, that you could follow, which is kind of true.
Yeah.
And my question for you is, which one would you like to do, I guess? Or what's a late game quest that you kind of like, that you're feeling, that you would like to follow? Since obviously you can't follow all 8 at the same time. Maybe you have like one favorite one that either you as a player, or you can also just say you as a character is invested in. Like a long-term goal or long-term thing they wish to try and find out. Yeah, I guess that's the question. So, starting off with the one and only.
Me, of course, Greg, and I'm playing Iric Spanner, the Human Artificer. Based on the recent revelation during my Top Hat Guy experience, I'm really interested in seeing what inventions and what big machines and stuff have come out of Yeshiman. I haven't been in Norcan for 2 years, so what has happened since then? I just, not that I want to get back into that necessarily, but I want to know if anything different has come out of it. But I'm also, I think it would be really fun to actually go on the quest for all those instruments. Just completely sidetrack. Like, it would be such a different adventure for us.
Yeah, that would be the definition of getting sidetracked by a side quest, like a video game achievement that you get for collecting instruments. And
it's just a DLC. Let's just play it.
Yeah. All right, that's very interesting. Especially a lot of personal backstory things in your first quest. Okay, next one.
Hello, I'm Matt, playing Fiera, the Chronomancer Wizard. I think I have 2 answers. One's for Fiera. Currently, I think her interest lies in the Denominator Seals, since she kind of talked to Tempestus and found out that, it creates the Everdome to protect everybody, and there's a large thing outside knocking on the door. So that's probably her priority. For me personally, that's a good question. Kind of like everything. How to do everything. Yeah, I would say find a way to. I mean, it's kind of spoiler outside the game. Find a way to extend Fiera's life so she can do more. She's traveling with a couple elves. They're gonna live beyond her. Zephyrus has lived for centuries. She wants to do more because there's a lot to do.
Yes, the very wizard thing to do. The very Chronomancer wizard thing to do. Very interesting. Okay, well, one last question I have for you, Matt, is anything you personally as a player are like, because like Greg is just interested in the instruments, do you have like any thing that you as a player just find very intriguing?
I mean, the Prestigiae. They're not on the Pantheon list I got, so how do they... Where's their place in the world? So I need to find out more about them.
All right. Very deep cut there. I bet none of the players understand what that means. Anyways, next one.
Hi, I'm Skit, and I play Isorel Leafina, the High Elf Druid / Cleric. That is just receiving her dinner. I'm so sorry about that. So Isorel is very, very interested in trying to make sense of her past. So her next thing really is to deep dive into the ravine, because she feels like the next answers that she's looking for are in the ravine. So that's really like where her mind is. And then myself, Skit, as a player, when I play video games in an open world setting, I'm the type of annoying ass person that's gonna fulfill every single side quest before I follow the main quest. Like, I cannot go on if I haven't done everything. So my answer would be, I want to do everything. I want to know everything. But I would say, like, in a more realistic thing, I want to discover everything about this. Like, these little papers are annoying me, and I want to know more, and I want to, like, put the red thread between all of this. So yeah, I think that's like my next big thing.
Okay.
Figuring out, just piecing the puzzle together.
Interesting. Very ambitious. I can say very ambitious. I'm, as a player, by the way, I'm the complete opposite. I just follow the main path and I don't give a single fuck about the side quests.
I cannot deal with seeing like a list of unfinished quests. Like, I have to do everything. I will spend hours. Like, don't ask why I have like thousands of hours in every single RPG I've ever played. It's because I just follow every single quest.
I guess I'm in the minority here. Okay, then going on to our last but definitely not least player.
I'm Felicia. I'm playing Jade Nightlock, the Paladin Warlock. As Jade, he really wants to go home to the ravine and figure out what that little thing was that she was told that could have been missed and investigate that. So it kind of amuses me a little bit because Skit, like, ever since like Skit and I were like Arya and Isorel, like we always are on the same page a lot of things, so it's really funny to like watch like Jade and her now kind of aligning in this way where we both want to do kind of similar things. So yeah, that's really important to me. Is I want to know, like, Jade wants to know like her family, what could have been missed, is there anything that she could have done differently. There's a lot of questions there that Jade has. Me as a player, I want to follow that as well, but also I'm very curious in these instruments. Like, how are they like divvied up? Like, where would we even begin to find them? There's all these questions that I have as far as those. Jade would never agree to go find them because, well, it has to do with the dragon, and she's got this weird thing with them. So it's really funny, like the Felicia and the Jade side are kind of conflicting right now.
Yes. The player character conflict we all ever know. Yeah, maybe you just split the party. Two of you just go looking for some instruments and the other two try to save the world.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Alright, maybe we're
Hell no.
And in the end, your fate will get to weaving together because the two of you unleash the god that the other two have to stop, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, a lot to do, I guess. It is quite different across the board, except for the Greg and Felicia mashup with finding instruments. But the rest, very unique goals. Yes.
What does Jack the DM want us to do?
He's never
That
going
is
to
a
tell us
good
that.
question.
Save the world that he built.
Yeah, please. I don't
Please,
want
all my lore,
my
my
lord.
cities, my people.
They will all go down and die. No, we all know I love killing people. Um.
I can attest to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every one of you at least once can attest to that. Felicia can attest to that twice. I think there are a couple of routes where I would like you guys to go down, but I obviously won't say them. A GM bias we do not wish to have here. But I firmly believe that you will go down that route eventually. There is a strong pull, and it has been mentioned in one of your 4 guys' goals, so there's already a pull there. Anyway, with that little teaser gone, with a little teaser gone, we can get into the session now. I don't know why I became a weirdo there for a second. That's just par for the course, I guess. So let's hit it. And during the intro, I will do something unprecedented. I will go to the toilet. Because I really have to pee. Okay, see ya.
Our Messiah has ventured back, but the seeds have been planted, and we have all the necessary tools to finally continue our preparations, Your Holiness. So he has disappeared. How unfortunate. His contribution to our faith was quite useful. Then we shall proceed with our next step. The words of the Dead Sea Scrolls will us to embrace the chaos and the pools of blood that will be spilled as a result of it. Our next goal is hidden, but we shall find it. Old blood will lead us to war, and this time we shall not fail to collect the blood again. For now we possess the dagger and the chalice, and surely this war will suffice to satisfy it. Oh, prayer to the red moon. May your scarlet light bless us. We who follow in the rivers of blood that you spill. Bless us. Oh, scarlet moon. Bless us. Oh, scarlet moon. Bless us. And may we drink from the blood that guides us.
We're gonna start us off, as always, with a quick recap. While within the safety of Delasaurus, you all have kind of decided to make the best of your time preparing and planning on what to do next. That included doing a quick bit of research, meeting up with Zephygus, who gave you a whole bunch of shit to think about, and a lot of options that you can take. And after having that meeting with also Godric, the High Cleric from Ovalmir, you decided to, basically have like a long talk to decide on, or to actually first curate a to-do list on what is necessary or what is kind of immediate notice for you guys, and which of the threads you currently have open is worthy of being followed. And after that, and you kind of finished your list, you decided it was due for some shopping, since you received a payout of, I don't know why I'm doing this voice, maybe I'm misdoing voices, 50k, which you somewhat divvied up, and you went shopping by first going to Ovalmir to the shops there, instead of tell us all where you were. However, you did find some useful stuff. Specifically, Eirik acquired some very rare materials coming from colors, or more specifically, actually, Heems. So a very cold block is what I should call it. I think you only bought the cold one, right? The selenized tungsten.
Yeah.
And you didn't buy the lightning thing.
No.
Okay. Yeah. And the others, Cynthia bought some spell scrolls, and as well, we stocked her pouch. And Jade was basically left behind to do some research in the archives since the other three kind of departed. And that is actually where we're going to begin. So we're kind of rewinding back. And because I just, you know, in your absence, Felicia, Jade, I presumed, since that this last thing said, would have continued doing research. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would have continued trying to research my family and the ravine and any other thing I could find, like how they defended themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, then you can definitely, since I guess you will stay there, how many hours do you wish to stay there to kind of research this specific fact? So you have the whole day basically open for you. So
I would probably spend every waking moment there trying to figure it out, because I know I'm not the brightest with researching. I would have been like trying to find people to help me figure out where exactly it is that I need.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably would spend there all day.
Okay, so we'll say it is like 5 p.m. After you left the meeting, so probably till the end of the day. Let's say this like midnight. Probably.
Yeah.
So that would be 7 hours. And in which section would you like to research?
I probably would have went back to the 8th level for the ancient history, looking at the ravine.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the ravine. All right. Okay, then you can make an investigation check. That is an 11. Yeah. So, in those 7 hours that you spent there, kind of looking around for books, stuff like that, the very first thing that is noticeable is reading is hard, you know? And you get tired really quick. You get tired really, really quick. And so while you do plan on spending here a lot of your time, it's just a thing that happens. We all know this, like while you are cramming, and then you just, after half an hour of like reading a specific section, your eyes just get heavy. Or probably more accurately for Jade, since she technically can't go to sleep, your focus just drifts off. And you have a hard time concentrating. Probably because you have a lot on your mind. And the only things you really find there from the ancient history sections is things that are like theories about how the ravine happened in the first place, which doesn't really interest you. They're like kind of documentation of like earthquakes and stuff like that, like geographical landmass sketches, and to see how the continent shifted through a large earthquake that might have happened a long time ago, but no mention of any tribe or anything. And you really only find geographical facts about, you know, the depths of the ravine, which is still unknown, that no one really has found the depths yet, which is why it's so dangerous. Also seen as a hotspot for demonic activity, since it is so deep, which means if demons appear there, there's no real way to take care of them. And that's the only mention of your tribe that says through the enlistment of the alliance between the kind of Shadakai who are native to it and the military of Azathia. They try to kind of subdue the threats that do appear out of the ravine. And then you also see a few notices about creatures living there, all of which you are very much aware of since you literally live there. So yeah, unfortunately, you do not receive anything new in your 7 hours spent there. I will allow you to just kind of do another investigation check for like subtopics, because you can, try and look for multiple topics at the same time. It's not like you only see one thing. So if you have any sub-interests that you have that you would kind of always keep an eye out for, basically, and not actively researching, you can also say that.
Anything about like the time dragon?
Okay.
That's probably very not happening.
Oh shit.
Oh, everybody froze.
Oh, you're back.
Oh,
You froze mid-sentence.
yeah. So the chances of Jade finding anything, I understand, are very, very slim. But it was still something that she would just be like, in the back of her mind, like, curious about.
Okay, then.
I found a map, an old map in 30 minutes. I think you can find something good.
That's 14. Look around ancient history, and you do find in one of the books like the mention of, like similar to what has already been told to you, that the continent has been ruled by dragons before. And there's, however, a specific section which is very, very short and just written, that there's believed that the dragons that occupied the continent at their time while they were ruling were mostly elementals. However, there have been signs and evidence is found that there are dragons that kind of embrace or wield different sorts of aspects other than elements. However, no further note, or it doesn't go into specific stuff like that. That's just a mention of, there are different types of dragons beyond elemental dragons, or that possess elements. And that's kind of, time isn't really an element. So yeah, that kind of puts the prospect of different types of draconic races that might also include the one you're looking for.
Fair.
Okay. And I guess with that, the other guys, we will switch back to you. The last thing you did was return. I guess that was it, right?
Yes, pretty much.
The last thing we did with Glamour.
Oh my god, yes. Oops, sorry, I almost forgot that. You went to... okay, I'm sorry, I almost forgot the name.
I didn't make notes, so I forgot.
The Arcane Arcada, where you met Tumor and Escapada, and asked him whether or not he knew Glamour, and then you summoned Glamour, and Glamour responded quite surprisingly to the presence of Tumor. Oh my god, I kinda did not prepare myself for this. Okay, so Glamour appears and he's like, "Oh, is that you, Tumorin?" You can see Tumorin first of all shrieks a bit. He's like, "Oh, have we met before?" It's like, I know this is quite the different appearance, but but it's me, Glamour. You know, you hooked me up. I do not know. I do not know a Glamour. A Glamour. I've never heard of such a name before.
I'm gonna pull out a piece of paper from my sketchbook and use magical tinkering and just create a picture of what Glamour looked like when we met him.
He looks at it and say, "Yeah, yes.
That doesn't look familiar to you.
No, I've not seen such a fellow in my yonder years of work.
I don't believe that.
And then Glamour says, "Oh, come on, Jumoran, it's me. We used to hang out, you know, back in college." It's like, I do not. Well, I hail from Azathia. That is.
I Sora's gonna like lift her hand to kind of stop him and be like, "Sir, we do not mean any harm whatsoever. What you have done in your past life does not concern you. As you can see, Glamour is basically a whole new person now. So truly, if you do know Glamour, if he is your friend, then you are our friend as well."
Make a persuasion check.
How about that, huh?
Oh,
That's
26.
Sweet +9.
And Glamour also kind of supports it and says, "Yes, these are our friends. You truly do not have to worry about them. They're fabulous people. In my eyes, at least. Well, I know they don't look as fabulous or glamorous yet. However, with due time, I shall also change them. Like I did you in the past. Come on, old chap." And Tioran's kind of like, all right. You know, first rule. Don't want to blow our cover, yeah? I'm an old acquaintance of Glamour. That's about it.
Are you talking about the little stuff that would get traded into hands of other people for a lot of coins? Yeah, we know about that. That's a little bit the whole reason why Glamour is now an ocelot.
Yeah.
He's paying the price and turning a new leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Just
kill.
as... Yeah, we killed him.
Now look at me now.
And
Licks his paws.
he's turning a new leaf, and you have turned a new leaf as well. Your establishment looks great.
Thank you very much. Yes. I have turned a new leaf.
Inside check. Are they lying to hide something?
Okay, yeah.
Alright. My insight's +1, but
Woohoo!
hey, 14.
Yeah, he seems to be saying the truth. At least as far as your keen eyes can tell.
Sure.
Or your people reading abilities. He says, yeah, I mean, the fun days in the past when we still worked together, but as soon as he kind of ventured in the more darker parts of his career, I decided to distance myself from him. So yes, I am.
Hey, you know what? It's a smart thing to do. If you don't feel comfortable with something, you backed out.
Yes, exactly.
Look who's talking.
Hey,
Yeah. So I see it has not went well for you, Glamour. I mean, I'm with some fine folk right now, and I have a very nice child that gives the best pets, so I would say it's not half bad. Well, I did get killed, and get trapped inside of a stone for a couple of days. I would say, you know, win-win. Yes, alright. Is that the wing I made you? Yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh, I kind of wave my finger and it becomes visible once again.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the me parting gift that I gave him when he decided to leave.
Oh, well, that's kind of you. Without it, I couldn't have brought him back. So.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of trickery to make that one. Or I would say one of the last, well, you know, activities I've done that are kept low.
Not the most proud of, maybe?
Well, I'm quite proud of the wing. I mean, it seems to have done its function. Let's just say the means to create the wing, I'm not so proud of.
Well, look at you now.
Yes, from small time magic tinkerer, I have risen to the top. $, a own magic shop that I can be proud of.
Well, in the effort to turn over new leaves, let's see things that you are proud of.
Oh, haven't you? You have already looked at my wares.
Did we?
Yes, you did. And I think
Right,
you
we
already
were
you
on
already
our way
bought.
out.
You already bought stuff.
We were on our way out
Yes,
when we randomly asked about glamour.
Yeah, one of you
Oh, shit.
bought the yeah, it was you, Isabel. You bought
The necklace. That's
the
right.
of wound closure.
Yeah.
Well,
I bought a new thing.
right.
Right.
As a reminder, because obviously you forgot after a week. So he had a set of gloves that make you a little bit more dexterous.
Oh, right. Yes, right.
He had a stone that kind of, you know, makes you more charismatic and
Oh,
make
yeah,
people-
yeah. I put money down on that, I'm pretty sure. 50 gold.
Yeah.
And then a ring that allows you to see through things.
Right. It's the totally normal things a person has.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how much I paid necklace.
Can watch the video back, I guess.
Yep, I'll watch it when it comes out in a couple days.
Yep. And he says, like, well, I guess I'm somewhat glad to see you doing fine now, Glamour. And with those small paws, I don't think you can do any more shady business. So hopefully, you keep that leaf turned. Oh, don't worry. I have already business plans on a new stellar, glamorous clothing shop, and these people will be the first to wear my glamorous attire. And my audio is fucked again. You can continue talking. It's just my desktop audio.
But yeah, good news. We'll be in town for a while. If you two want to catch up, Lamber's obviously free to do what he wishes. But yeah, we'll be around. So make new things, and we'll keep coming back. And I'll check out that stone later. I'm still thinking on it.
Yes, very well. You have put a down payment, so for the time being, this stone is ready to be purchased by you.
Wonderful.
All right, then what do you guys do next? Just leave?
Mm,
Probably. Do we have? It's later in the day now, I suppose.
Yep.
uh,
I have loads of work to do with scrolls. I should be in
I
touch with Snaria.
yeah. I need to pay a quick visit to Vashina, at the university.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. And then I might go down to the archives to retrieve Jade, so we can, all reconvene.
Right, we should let her know what we found as well. As I try to remember what we found last week in Overmere.
I have my notes.
Good, good. No, I know there was rings that were. There was the
I
divine
did not.
resistance one that she might want.
I did not write those down. All I have from Overmere is we get to Overmere. Go to Forest Heart Marketplace.
Nice.
Yeah, we can.
That's
go
all
back.
I have.
Fine. We can go back.
The note taker, everybody.
Yes!
Here we are, people.
Yes! I have so many, like, very thorough notes. But then, like, when we're traveling or something, I'm just like, yep, we went there.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll catch up with you two later then.
Yep, we'll see you back at the tower, I guess.
Sure.
Okay. Then for quick biz, I guess Fiera, what's...
I'm just gonna try to catch up with Snaria. I'll actually just send her a message. 'Cause I'm hoping we're not fighting today. That's through the end of the day. I'll just send her a message that I'll be at the tower. And that would be a good time to do a study session. Curious what she is looking into with her own spellcraft.
Yep. Okay, yeah, she will delightfully respond to that. And I guess you can kind of say, because she also, it's probably like a little exchange session.
Yeah. I'm curious what she would think is her, bread and butter. What's her, what is a spell she's proud of that she likes, and I kind of just exchange my own. Like if she wants the tower, she wants like Fortune's Favor, or haste, or a higher level spell. Like I'd really show her anything, except for 5th level or higher. Probably I wouldn't. That could get dangerous.
Yeah. I guess we will do this kind of like downtime-esque. She would kind of say she's like evocation specific. That you learned like mostly kind of combative skills since she was planning
Have
on.
very little of that.
Yeah. And that her main attunement or element that she attunes herself to is cold or ice.
Oh.
And that she wields a lot of that, where, well, she was quite useless in hell since everything, well, it's hell.
I feel that pain.
Yeah, so the one that she's most proud of, which she has managed to kind of acquire through acquiring a very old spell scroll, which she literally spent all of her money on, is a Cone of Cold. She's able to cast.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen Eirik or Isabel use cold. I think Jade has the ice armor, if I remember right. Interesting. Do I want that? Yeah.
Yeah, you're a wizard, of course you do.
Yeah, wonderful. I have just enough to copy that down before I have to restock. Then let me find the fun spell. Oh, I don't know if I could teach her a chronomancy spell. Oh, I could teach her Wall of Force. That's a good one.
So You would definitely look very surprised at that. She will also mention like that's a prowler spell, but she also has a kind of quote-unquote lesser version of it. She does have Ice Storm, the 4th level spell.
Up real quick. Stone.
I mean, I can just read it for you if you wish.
Sure, yeah.
Well, it just creates a kind of ice storm in a 20-foot radius and 40-foot high cylinder. Everyone sort of has to make a dexterity saving throw. Or they take 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 46 cold damage. And it turns the area into difficult terrain until the end of your next turn.
Oh. That may be more tempting now that I have a telekinesis scroll. It's not concentration, is it like a
It's instantaneous.
action and it's over?
Yep.
What? I will do that one instead.
Alright, that's a 1st level spell. And I guess
Right.
can spend.
I mean, we'll take, if it's 4th, yeah, that'll take the night. We'll probably finish around midnight.
Alright.
So, yeah, we just hang out, talk spells. I show her some of my, like, tiny ones that are kind of higher level. Mentioned she... Unless she finds a really unique focus, it'll probably be tougher to use.
Yeah, well, pretty damn good. She finds, like, by using your locket, she actually manages, or if you lend it to her for, like, a few trials.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she manages to find a bit of attunement towards it and seems to at least have the ability to access the Shadow Weave and manipulate it in very small ways. So you can... One of the main ways, and that's probably also how you learned it, is to create ripples. And what that just means is, by using it, you can create a Fata Morgana effect in your hand. Very minor. It's like a minor illusion, where you can just see space and sort of time itself can just ripple a bit. And that's like the... what's it called? Minor illusion version of... not minor illusion, it's... what's the spell's name again? Prestidigitation of Shadowmancy, like a small trick that you can do for novice spellcasters. And she manages, actually in that short time, to... out of 10 times, like 1 out of every 10 times she manages to create that effect, basically.
That's still impressive, just first day.
Yeah. Well, she's a trained wizard. Obviously, you took, like, years to study, but just because you weren't a trained...
Right. What was the place she studied? Something about the stars? Or
yeah, Starlight Academy.
Starlight Academy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of how that endeavor goes. And with that, we will switch over to Eric and no, not Felicia. That's a player. Yeah, Eric and Isoel. So
Yes.
take a visit to Vashina.
Yes.
Okay, so I presume we'll just go to the embassy and meet her there.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, you kind of go in to the embassy. You can see that at this time of the hour, a lot of students are currently leaving the Innenkreis. A lot of mumbling and rumbling and talking is amidst the general populace, you find. Especially, you know, you're in higher educated circles, so there's a lot of political talk and stuff like that. And just the general awareness of the situation. So, you know, spending now a bit more time here amongst people, you do get a sense of general tension that lies, you know, with the current situation that you place in. However, you do hear a lot of, like, sighs of relief that they are in Delos Solis, and that is probably one of the safest places to be, apart from perhaps the holy capital, Barashiel. And other than that, they don't really know where else one could deem themselves to be safe. Yeah, especially with all the kind of things, the kind of rebellion going on in Orkan. And then you also hear of mention of, you know, the rumored war taking place in Luthera. And then also that another Crusader Legion seemed to have been kind of switched sides at the border between Canaan and Colossus. You would kind of catch on the wind. And with that, you would kind of get to Vashina in the embassy. She kind of, or the page boy that works there would just bring her to her room, like the first time you met her, and walk inside. And she greets you basically and says, "Ah, I recognize the house. It's been some time, or not too long."
It has been. I guess a Voss or so, a little over a Voss. Time got weird for a little bit for us.
Interesting. Yeah, I assume that you have been through quite a lot.
We have, and we have a lot to tell you. I am coming to give you some news and some information that we've found, but also because I have a small favor to ask you. But I would like first to spend some time and tell you what has happened to us in the last Voss or two.
Oh, yes, please do. I am greatly interested. Since I haven't really heard much, I expected a few sendings from Vieira, but it seems like you were a bit disconnected.
We were carrying on a mission for Master Zephicus, which took us to hell.
Right, that is quite the escalation.
It is. It's been, and then I'll just spend like the next hour or so, like telling her what we went through in hell and all that. And I kind of skip over the part with the dragon and just like let her know of everything. And then once like, oh yeah, also by the way, while we were in hell, we found a giant, humongous dragon skeleton.
Oh, that is very interesting. I hope you studied it as well as fast as...
we did better than that. And I'll open my bag of holding and I'll whip out my piece of bone, of dragon bone, and I'll hand it to her so she can look at it.
Well, you first burn yourself by holding this piece of bone.
Yeah, I'm like, ouch, ouch, and then I'll just put it like down on the table.
Yeah, and then it's... And she's like, oh!
Yeah.
And she kind of picks it up with a mage hand. And it's like, wow, this is fascinating. And this is a bit of bone you found on a dragon inside of hell.
Yes.
Right, that is... Well, as far as the Holy Legions are concerned, they will probably be very happy to say that dragons are in hell, since that is kind of what they are getting at.
I have a small piece of the bone, but if you are interested, we brought back a much larger piece that Master Zephicus has in his possession.
I maybe think it's in better hands with Master Zephicus. I think the small one...
Oh, of course. But if you wanted to study it or something, just know that Master Zephicus has it.
Alright. Well, this is... I'll have to rethink some of my theories then, if a dragon can be found inside of hell.
Yes. We also made a new friend along the way, Jade. And she has, per my request actually, she has drawn up the whole dragon skeleton for you. She's currently studying some stuff down in the archives, but I was hoping to fetch the drawing later. Fiera's tower is in town if you want to drop by at any point in the next couple of days. We're going to be here for a little bit.
Right, that's very convenient. I think maybe if I find some new stuff, is some great revelations. Well, yes. Anything else that is of note?
Hold on, I'm just gonna reread my quick stuff. Quick stuff. No, that's that's hold on. Wait. Oh, right. I also we found out that the Dracolith in Hell are trying to bring back Tiamat, which is bad news.
The who now?
The Dracolith. The demons in Hell.
Well, you probably mean devils in hell.
Devils, yes, the devils. Sorry. The devils in Hell.
Alright. I kind of looks very puzzled, and obviously you recognize the word Dracolith, but she seems to be, unless you tell her about the specifics of the Dracolith god, she doesn't know about them. You instantly can read on her face. She's obviously being honest with you.
Yeah, I would definitely let her know of what we learned while we were in Hell about the Dracolith gods and all that.
Okay. Would you also tell her about everything you learned about the War of the First Sin and how that occurred?
Yes, I would honestly let her know as anything that has to do with dragons, Dracolith, Hell. I would just let her know about all of that because Isorel doesn't know if they're all interconnected with each other or if one is anyways, she's trying to piece the puzzle together and just shooting ideas back at Vashina.
Okay, that gives her a great understanding. Actually, I have a roll for her, how much she actually comprehends this.
Yeah.
She will say, Right, well, this is fascinating on very many different levels. Seeing that, well, dragons, they are just, I guess, I think that, well, it just means they belong to a different faction. If there truly are the angelic factions and the draconic factions. And I have recently learned through the research of the draconic runes and stuff that, well, this continent seemed to have belonged to the dragons. That's That's interesting. My biggest question though is how did the Holy Lichens get into power if they were enemies of the dragons?
That is a little bit what we're. I mean, it is. Sorry. It is one of the many questions on my list of questions and research. We are trying to make sense of how did we come to be here if this was the continent that belonged to the dragons. That means other humanoids were somewhere else before, which means there is at least one other continent. I'm like trying to point to a second continent without actually saying like we know for sure there is a second continent. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm like trying to push her in that direction without straight up coming with it.
And she kind of says, "Well, yes. Like I know for a fact, and I think this is most archaeologists and historians agree on this, that humanoids, and specific Chaldean kinds, our kind, have been on this continent for quite some time. Even in the ruins that we found, there has been evidence of culture, of creatures such as ourselves. Elves have been depicted. So I think it's safe to say that, you know, Chaldean kind coexisted with dragon kind, and that a society in large was made, which obviously now points us towards our date. It says PE. It is a post-Exodus, and it refers to a great migration of some sort. However, I've never figured out which migration. Standard belief, and that is kind of also what the religionists always say, is that there was just a migration towards the holy light. However, it's never mentioned from where or who migrated from where to where. You know, it's always left kind of vague. So, if you're alluding to that there are different places, you might suggest that there has been an exodus that took place outside of this continent, either away from this or maybe to this. I don't think we have enough information to...
That is what we are trying to figure out. Because it seems to be somewhat connected to everything. I mean, for sure it is connected to everything that is happening right now. It seems that history wants to repeat itself with a different thing, with the unholy blood order that wants to take over and push aside the holy lichenius. It seems like we are kind of repeating what happened with the dragons to a different scale, but you know, it seems like we're back into a new cycle of this.
Yes. It does seem that way. Well, I'm lucky to see, well, I'm happy to see you two safe, and I presume Fiera is still doing fine, but
Yes.
once again, I'm very sorry about your loss, Daria.
It's been hard. It's definitely been a very tough situation. As you know, she was my absolute best friend, and the person I was the closest to.
Yes. At least I can see that The both of you have grown quite a bit since the last time.
Oh,
saw
you
you.
should see Fiera. She has gained a lot of confidence.
I would not have expected otherwise. That
Yes.
is great to hear. Remembering what a discussion I had. This is
I think you would find our new friend interesting.
well, I find many things interesting. So
Her name is Jade, and she's of the Nightlock clan in the ravine.
the nightclub. Does she know? Nope. Unfortunately, I have not heard of that clan.
Yeah.
What if you say?
From what I understood, they were one of the keepers clan or something with the ravine. To be honest, I haven't pushed much for information from her. She seems to be very still dealing with everything that happened with her people. There was and I looked back to Ira. I think she said a shadow dragon attack or something on her village.
Yeah. I don't know the specifics of the type of dragon, but yeah, there was some
Yeah.
incursion. It's kind of caused her, prolonged trauma.
Yeah. Let's just say that when I asked her to sketch out a dragon skeleton, it took a little bit of convincing, but she was happy to do so in the end.
Well, I am now definitely intrigued to meet this person. A shadow dragon, you say? On our plane? And I do not know about this. Fascinating.
Yeah. Yes.
Very well. Well, then I will take the best chance to meet her.
Yeah, like I said, you are more than welcome to drop by the tower. We'll be there for at least a few more days. Which now comes down to my small request to you. If you perhaps know someone or have in your possession an object, something, either a piece of rock or a statue or a vase or something that has a dragon engraved in it, that I could purchase.
A vase?
Anything that has just an object that would have a carving of a dragon on it. That has to be quite valuable. Like 500 gold worth.
I understand now. Yeah, I think I might actually have something. In our recent visits, there were a few lost accessories, old accessories that I did manage to scrap up, and I do believe a pot, or as more like a jar, was amongst one of them. And I think I would be more than happy to depart on it, especially if it then lands into your hands. But I would have to find it out again. I did give it to the archive, but I think for the purpose of this, it might be a bit more valuable in your possession, so I'll do my best to retrieve it.
Do you remember the scroll that we found in the ruins? the one where you could summon a draconic spirit.
Yes, of course.
I experimented with it in Hell during a very intense battle, and I was able to summon Mirvarax himself. Hold on. Mirvarax. I want to say his name. I want to say his full name. Don't say it. Don't say it. I want to say it. There it is. Wait. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Shh. No, I got it. It's somewhere here. Here. Yes. The Archdragon Mirvarax himself showed up to help us into battle.
That is amazing, first of all. Very exciting news.
Yes.
It was also terrifying.
Yes. Because we were facing a very, 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 very large dragon, and he looked like a tiny dragon next to it.
Well, not much less I would expect from her. Seems like also dimensions have been increased over there. Right, well, I am happy that you have inherited some of the draconic powers that were left over. And seems like maybe your connection to dragonkind is a lot larger than we all have anticipated, and maybe all of our connection to dragonkind is a little bit more deeply connected than we all have anticipated.
That's what I'm starting to gather, that they may have left us here and there a little bit of their powers, ancestry, gifts. I don't necessarily know how to put it, but I feel like they definitely left some sort of influence.
I'm just gonna tap Isorel on the leg really subtly and kind of like just gesture my chin down towards my chest in like a should we say something about this?
I'm gonna kind of look at Eirik and be like, do you feel comfortable talking about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone who knows dragons as well as she does.
Yeah. If you don't mind, Eirik, I'll let you explain.
Yeah, I've over the last few Voss, I've noticed some changes.
Right.
He's a big boy now.
So, long story short, I was in a little bit of an accident when I was a kid. I was kind of caught in a little bit of a backfire at a forge when I was with one of my, I suppose, mentors. Not the right word, but anyway, there was a bit of a backdraft, and I got hit in the chest with some fire. I got burned, I got scarred. They didn't really ever heal, and over the last little while, they've started to transform into what we can only suspect is scales.
Right.
If you... May I?
Yes, please, may you?
I'll start...
I'll take Eirik's stuff in my hands to kind of help him.
unbuttoning my shirt and just, you know, pull it open and show off the scales.
The light dims, music starts playing softly. No, I'm kidding. She looks at it with great intriguing interest, and similar to Ister, immediately kind of wants to start poking, but she obviously asks for permission. But she's like, may I?
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah.
I just, we should ask for consent. Oh, yeah, this is indeed some form of scales. They are also a bit warm to the touch, not very common for scales.
The warmth is one of the newer things. It has realistically only started happening since hell.
Interesting. Alright. This is very, very fascinating because, And you say this scar was because of a accident you had at a forge?
Yeah, it was just one of the smiths in Suna Anir when I was younger. I was just standing watching what they were doing, and out the back of the little forge oven, there was just a burst of flame came out the little hole, and it just caught me right in the chest. And obviously it hurt. I got burned. They took me back to the guild, and they fixed me up and tried to make sure I wasn't like dying or anything. The scars just never went away.
Well, there's not much documentation about well, actually there is a lot of documentation about elemental ailments and afflictions that have sort of permanent consequences, I guess. I think the best one is a lot of soldiers up in Reims that were close to the border of Lucera get certain forms of ice bites that kind of permanently change them in different ways, like decoloration of the skin, also maybe kind of glazing over of the eyes. The nails usually also form ice crystals and stuff like that. It has always been quite curious how these things happen. I think also other things that I'm aware of is a very common affliction that many miners and colors have that work long times deep within their minds, that the outside of the skin starts, instead of developing calluses, it becomes more grainy, like rock itself, very hard. There's also one of the afflictions stated there. And I believe that in all of these cases that to some sort of degree a chrysalis is involved. And which is why the Holy Lichnius says that these chrysalises are dangerous because they corrupt the physical bodies of us, which then leads to our spiritual corruption since they're tainted by devil power. Be that as it may, it does seem like prolonged exposure under certain conditions that this is a thing that does happen. However, the more, I think, interesting part is it is not replicable, which is why there aren't any open information or sources about it. Since people try to obviously replicate the effects, for example, prolonged exposure and kind of treatment with the earth chrysalis, some patients, and actually most patients, do not show any symptoms. So it seems like only a very few selected individuals get afflicted. And there are differences between temporary ailments, like the ice bite. Usually once they kind of distance themselves from the cold of Lucera, they seem to be able to heal. They show scars, but it's normal scar tissue. However, there are a few individuals where the scars, or as you say, or I should rather say elemental afflictions, never leave. They always feel cold. They always have some ice crystals underneath their nails. Their breath is also a lot more colder than the average human. But these are like 1 in 1,000 that might occur. And it might be similar with you, that you might have been 1 in 1,000 who you gain a permanent permanent elemental affliction through the exposure to one of the elemental chrysalises. I have not much else information I can add to that. I once believed that the elemental chrysalises are somewhat connected to the draconic ancestry, and we have confirmed that that is rather true. It seems even that the remnants of the dragons, or specifically the archdragons, are responsible for the elemental chrysalises. So I guess it does make a lot of sense that you're growing scales. But why you? That unfortunately I cannot answer.
Yeah,
There was a mention back in hell.
yeah. I forget his name.
Yes.
But during a conversation we had with one of the, I guess, devil, I don't know what you want to call them, leaders, the words Daracon Knight came up. And it was suggested that I'm turning into one.
Right. It does sound familiar. I think I've read this somewhere in the books before. However,
Which I did look a little bit in the archives yesterday or the other day to see if I can come up with anything, and I got a little bit, but it didn't. I wasn't able to uncover anything like massive that explained anything more than really what we already know.
Right. Yeah, so it's also, I just know that I've heard or read the word before, but I unfortunately don't have any more information that I can reveal to you at this current moment. Then definitely, I think there probably should be more within the archives. Since I believe this is something that probably existed during the Angelic War. They probably, yeah, well, when the dragons still reigned over this continent. Unless it's something even more ancient, but it doesn't sound like that. Even though, if you've met people or things in hell.
Here. Isorel just snaps her fingers. I think I remember something of the Daracon Knights that are humans that merge with a chrysalis.
That merge with a chrysalis.
Yes. That is what was mentioned. So it sounds like Eirik may have some remnants of the chrysalis inside him. Somehow.
Alright, perhaps Eric, do you remember, did the forge close after you burnt yourself?
I don't really remember. I was young. They kind of just brought me back to the guild, and we would just go out and buy our stuff for the guild and whatever. I didn't really pay much attention to where we went.
Right. So you have no recollection of what happened to the forge after you burnt yourself?
I don't remember going back. It was on my mind at some point to, once back in Sunanir to check it out, but I just never did. I never had a reason to go to the smiths, so.
This might be a long shot, but I don't know if the archives have the records of the shops in Sunanir, but maybe you can check just the maybe the name of the smith and then see what has happened, because my theory is perhaps you absorbed the chrysalis, which means the fire chrysalis didn't exist anymore after you absorbed it. And if that,
Which means the forge would have to shut down.
which would have to close, and even worse, might have been suspected of stealing the chrysalis and selling it or something like that.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We haven't spent that much time together, but I did, in the short time that we did spend together, notice you have quite the particular attunement to fire.
You got to admit,
Yes.
that it's pretty fun.
All right, I think. Well,
You have your answer here.
yeah. Okay. Well, a lot to research, I guess.
It never occurred to me that I completely absorbed a chrysalis. I just thought there was some kind of, like, I don't know, magical dust or something in the fire that hit me or whatever. I didn't ever consider that it's basically part of me now.
Well, you are forming scales. They're part of you.
Yeah, which I thought was just a result of, like, the way that the scar was, healing or progressing. There's so much random crap out here in this world. Like, I wouldn't put it past anything to just be like, oh, that's happening now. Like, oh, no big deal.
Well, we did spend like a couple days in hell and came back to Sunanir under a dome and like all sorts of things that have happened in a few days that we are like, I guess that's reality now.
Yes, but most things, and also things you have mentioned, have a cause. And don't just happen at random. That's why we investigate and research the history to understand how these things happen. And I think that is also currently what you are doing. Well, I guess you have a lot to think about, Eric. And once again, I thank both of you for your updates. I'm a bit busy. I have a few schedules to do with the schools in Ovalmir. Obviously, I cannot return to Sunanir. So maybe if I have the time, I will come over and visit you once again. And during my research, I will maybe also keep my eye out on the things you have mentioned. Though I believe you guys will have a bit more time than me and have the more precise things to look out for.
For sure. And as always, Fiera is just a message away if you are unsure if we are around or if you see that the tower is not here anymore and we're maybe out of town, we may be able to cross paths in Ovalmir or somewhere else.
Alright. Well then, I hope you have a safe and more relaxing stay inside of Delosaurus.
We, crazily enough, are taking a bit of a vacation here in Delosaurus, buying some things and doing research and all that. It's a nice, quick little break of the constant running and fighting.
Well deserved, I would say.
Thank you. We won't bother you much longer. I think we've taken enough time as it is.
She's got lots ahead. And kind of lets you back out. Yeah, so I guess what's the next step for you guys?
Going to grab Jade at the archive to remind her that she needs to eat food and rest and do other things than cram books in her head.
Hmm.
Also, just remembered, I just got this shirt, which very much is Iric right now.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
This is a very Iric coded shirt.
Yep. Then yeah, you can definitely do that. You kind of return back to the archives. And I think after a bit of searching and stumbling around and asking people, you would find Jade frustratingly looking at a bunch of tomes, having unfortunately not found much.
Let's call it a night for now and go home, rest, reconvene. I also have something for you, Jade. And yeah.
My head. What do you mean you have something for me?
Oh, we went shopping today. I got something that could perhaps be useful to either you or myself.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but since it is magical in essence, I don't want to whip it out here in the library and get us all kicked out.
Fair. I just kind of like close up what I'm like looking at. I need a break anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get back to the tower.
I guess you just pick her up at the end of the day, and you all walk out and meet back at the tower where was the Fierak probably kind of finishing up your little study session with Tenaria. She looks very enthusiastic of having kind of managed to do her first bit of shadowmancy. And just kind of says, thank you very much, Fiora. This was very enlightening.
Of course.
Never would have thought
I
that.
guess we'll have to get back together in future and see how we both progressed.
Yes, definitely. I think I will also have a new perspective on how magic works. What's the shadow weave now? I think. I might think.
Mine changes every day, so.
I guess it is a common occurrence for us wizards then. Well, I see your friends are back. Hello. My head is a bit tilting from everything Fiora told me. A lot to digest. Yeah, so I think I will be taking the evening off to just kind of ponder about the things I just discovered. Kind of excuses herself and leaves.
Looks like you had a successful time, huh?
It's been a good day.
Good chat. Vashina, she's probably going to be in contact with you at some point if she doesn't come by in the next couple of days.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Also, Jade, during our shopping today, I purchased this necklace, and I'll take out the Periapt of Wound Closure. So this necklace, whenever whoever is attuned to it, is going to prevent us from slipping into death. And also helps you heal a little bit when you take a break. So I thought it would be convenient for either you or me, as we are pretty much always up front on the battlefield and trying to keep the other two alive.
That is That is definitely a useful thing to have.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be really useful for me, but I think it'd be more useful for you as our healer because you're the most important person out of all of us.
I wouldn't say most important. I think we are all equally important in this group, and we all have our own strengths. Staying alive is not my strength. But yeah, I did purchase it with the intention of actually wearing it, but I wanted to have you aware of its existence should anything should we decide that it might be better for you. Like, I am absolutely 100% willing to lend it to you, to give it to you, like whatever we would need. Like, I made this purchase with both you and I in mind.
Oh, well, thank you for considering me.
Of course. You also have a Fate Weaver brooch coming at some point for you. Whenever it's ready. I do have to go back to the smith, so I'm sure it would be ready by the time. I have still a few more purchases to make, so I'll look if he's got it ready and bring it to you.
Thank you. Side note, I never wrote down how much money that I was getting from all of that.
10,000.
Okay.
10K.
Yep, we all have 10k, and then there's gonna be 10k kind of set aside for
The
whatever.
tower and like whatever like the Fate Weavers would need.
Yeah.
Okay. I just never wrote anything down, so I just wanted to.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, if you need shopping done, we went to a couple stores. Not sure if there's anything that would interest you. But I think Israel, you still need to go to like an armor or something like that.
I wanted to sorry. I thought my calculator, because I have like the history of all the calculations I did, so I thought somehow I still had like the necklace in it, but it's not. Womp womp. Well, yeah, I wanted to look into getting perhaps better armor or something, so I still have some shopping to do. So I would gladly take Jade around if needed.
I'd like some armor too, frankly. So
Well, that would be a good stop for tomorrow.
I have decent armor, but now that I have this new weapon, I can't use my shield. So I need to get a little bit better armor.
Yeah.
Perfect. There was one thing. There was a ring that gave resistance to like divine damage. Like if a cleric that that we fought against, or I think the ones that were wielding swords kind of used as well. If you want to be protected from like divine powers, there was a ring that gave resistance to it.
Oh, that's kind of handy.
It
was
yeah.
a few thousand gold, but
yeah.
Maybe something to think about.
There is and now that he knows that we are good friends of Glamour, perhaps he'll be willing to come down a little bit on his price.
Or maybe he has something interesting in the back. He seems like the
Yeah.
kind to have special stock.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can get
Um,
you set up.
just to get you caught up a little bit, Jade. I believe we told you about our trip to the Draconic ruins that we had a few Voss ago, with someone from here.
I think you.
I
Yeah, I
think
think you told me about that.
yeah, I think we briefly mentioned it, but didn't want to press too much because of your history with dragons and all that. Didn't want to make you uneasy. It was when we barely knew each other, so we were kind of dancing around a little bit.
Yeah.
So we went to the ruins with historian archaeologist Vashina, who resides here at the embassy.
Oh,
And
isn't that who I drew this for? And then I just pull out the picture.
yes, that is for her. Yes, we just went. Eirik and I just went and spent an hour or so with her to talk about our adventures in hell. She'll be around, hopefully, and pay a visit. She's like we've said, she's very interested into draconic history and all that. So she would love to have a conversation with you about your experience with the shadow dragon. I know it's a sensitive subject for you, and I'm sorry.
While you're talking about this, Jade's just whole posture just kind of like stiffens.
If you're up for it.
And then she like gets this look on her face like she's in another like headspace.
I'm so sorry. I know this is not your favorite subject.
Far from it.
Yeah,
Like her fists are clenched at her sides.
I apologize about that. I keep bringing it up.
I understand that you bring it up because you're trying to learn things from it or to help others learn from it. But nobody should have to live through what I lived through.
Absolutely not. I wholeheartedly agree with you. This is not an experience that anyone would have should live through.
And she just like starts to like feel the outline of her scar on her face.
I'm just gonna put a little bit of a like well-wishing hand on her shoulder and just be like trying to reassure her, like, it's here. I know it's not it's not the most ideal situation, but you're safe here. You're not back there.
I just kind of nod.
Well, I guess while we're all together, there was one thing I wanted to talk about. Kind of a thing about responsibility. I'll take out my scroll case and tap it. Take out one of the two scrolls in there, tap it. This scroll, Jade, that your people gave me, I'll kind of put up everyone and unravel it. I looked at it quite a bit, and it's interesting, to say the least. She kind of skimmed over some things. This lets you live if you were about to die, but there's a cost. I can look over at Eirik. Remember when you got pulled away? in the city?
Yeah.
Well, I think he was protecting you from magic like this. Because this takes a life to save a life.
Yeah, that tracks. That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah, most likely another version of myself cast the scroll, and you went down, and it looked for a life to take. So it probably went for yours.
Yeah, he said to me, I basically don't want to know. Like I asked him what all of it means. He said, I just you don't want to know.
Right, this type of magic it brings a lot of questions. We also learned that there's a finite amount of versions of ourselves, so if magic like this exists and keeps taking lives, what happens when it runs out? Or it takes people without, permission. They just die. I don't know if I want to use this.
I'm gonna look at it. So I
Pass it over.
would I know about this spell? If my people would have given it to Fear, I'm sure I would have heard of something about it, of at least that type of spell.
Sorry, yep. You can make a history or arcana check. If you're proficient on both, you can make a roll with advantage with either one.
I'm gonna give myself guidance.
Right.
I could probably give advantage to kind of explain.
Holy shit,
Oh.
wow.
Oh
He
my
doesn't need
gosh.
it.
Makes
With a
sense,
plus
right?
0.
That makes
It makes
Yay!
sense. I like the
so
rolls when it makes sense.
much sense. Yeah, you definitely know this spell because it was used on you before. It is a spell that is obviously used under utmost precaution and only in extremely dire situations where the expectancy of death is very, very high. So they don't just cast this on everyone. And you know the innate danger that comes with the spell. Your director, so your master who kind of taught most of the spellcraft that you know now, would have explicitly explained to you that that your organization has access to a lot of spells of this sort, and that they keep very close eye on anyone who does use it, and they only use it in very, very, very dire situations where obviously they kind of deem that the protection of themselves for this situation is worth the sacrifice of a potential other version of you. Obviously they still try to make it so that you don't die. So the spell never gets into effect. Which was also in your case. The spell got casted on you, but you didn't die. Which means another version of you didn't die to save you. But you know that your director would mention that a other member of the kind of organization that you belong to is very well adept in the art of soul exchange, which is this type of spell. It's a soul exchange spell.
Okay. So I'd explain to Fiera. So I know exactly what this is. It's been used on me. You can cast it preemptively, but so for example, when it was cast on me, I didn't actually die, so therefore life was not lost. You cast it in dire situations where there's no other option of death, and then if for some miracle can happen and that person doesn't die, then life is not lost.
Well, I guess the question is, are we okay with taking someone else's life so we can continue? It might be against their will. They might have their own story, their own dreams and hopes, and they may be working to protect their friends, their family. But then this spell would just take them.
I personally would not want it used on me. When the ultimate time for me to go is determined, that's my time to go, then that's just what's going to happen. But if the person that cast it is okay with holding that weight, then I would say use it in a dire circumstance. Like if you know somebody's going to, like if you don't and somebody you care about is going to die and you could save them and you're okay with losing somebody else that you don't know.
Quite a heavy burden.
So it's just, you have to decide if that is something that you can live with or not. I know somebody that might be able to talk to you about this. I mean, they
that
do
would
this
help.
kind of stuff.
Currently, I feel
Guarantee
like
that they'll talk to you, but I can try.
if I let myself use a spell like this, then there's other versions of me using the same magic. And more lives just get taken.
It's all about
Eric,
a choice, what you can live with.
the question, Eric Israel, would you be okay being brought back if there's a cost? A danger, a risk?
I mean, I've kind of been thinking a lot about just, death recently, as everyone else has, obviously, but I would say yes, but I think I would only want to be brought back by means like this if it was a situation where me being back would absolutely help the cause. If it was just a demon out in the forest, it doesn't seem worth it. If you're on the steps of a Lichnius church and there's a fight with another blood cleric that might take over another city and trying to save someone's family, that's a different story, I think.
Do you think your other versions would be accepting of their life being taken away for a just cause? Like, would you be willing to die right now if another version of you is out there fighting in Sunanir, fighting against the Legion and doing what you just said? They're trying to save a family's life. Trying to save our lives.
That's such a hard question. I don't no, because I want to live my life, but
Right. And I prefer you stay here too, because we need you.
it's annoying because it's all other realities and people that we don't know. So I can't speak on behalf of people I don't know.
Hmm.
It's really tough.
I agree.
I did, however, I said to Isorel a couple days ago, when we were escaping Suna and Nir, the idea of ending myself came up, and I realized that in a situation like that, I would much prefer leaving on my own choice than to be put under the stress, the whatever might happen if we get caught by someone like the Light Commander. So that's where I'm coming to terms with death at the moment. Is if it's gonna happen, I want it to be done for a reason. I don't for a reason or by my own intelligence or stupidity, whatever the case may be.
I think that makes sense. Azrael, what do you think? You can bring people back by different means.
I would be extremely angry if you brought me back using this scroll. Knowing what we know, knowing what I know, I would probably resent you for the rest of my life if you brought me back using this. And especially now that I know about Xerxes and how he eliminates all of the other versions of reality when he's around. That
Right.
scares the ever-living hell out of me. So anything that has to do with perhaps at some point harming another version of myself that might be fighting Xerxes at that moment or preparing to fight him, I would absolutely hate it. It would go against everything I believe in. I would understand why it was used, but I would hate it.
I think that makes sense. Well, then I think for the time being, I will store it in the tower. And if any one of you want to use it yourselves, you're free to, but I don't think I will. I want to make sure that my other versions have the best chance of fighting for their own friends and family that they can. And I have better means of helping them than this.
Could it be used as a bargaining chip? If it ever came down to it that we needed to give something up or trade something with somebody?
Ooh.
Is it something so secret that we shouldn't be telling people about? Or if we were in a situation that we were in trouble, could we say, hey, do you want this?
think it'd be difficult for me to give that to someone else. Spells like this have a lot of responsibility and weight. Like Jade mentioned, it's a large weight for your shoulders to bear. Taking a life to save a life and the repercussions. I think it's something to learn from, remember, think about, and maybe not use unless you have no other options. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you all in the morning. Try to get better protected. As I spag for Arcane Aura. I think it's 22 or 23. I'll have to double check. And my scroll case.
Very nice.
And then I'll go up to the treasury and start gathering the scroll to the tower.
Very well. That is also where we're gonna take our break. So, see you guys in a quick bit. Bye. And we're back. Like and subscribe. It does say. Oh, there it is. There it is. Nice. The light always wishes to blend us, but not this time. Yeah. So I guess you'll go to your beddings and take your rests. One of you guys can well be AD 100.
Oh no.
Who else can do it?
Not it.
Alicia, you weren't here last time, so
Yep.
Did you
What
roll
am I rolling?
AD 100?
All right, let's see. Right in the middle.
Wow.
Right,
That's impressive.
right in the middle. What does that mean?
he has to read a lot.
Yes, interesting.
And then the sky falls, and then earthquakes,
Please.
lava erupts.
Okay, so you all go to your individual rests. And during the evening, nothing happens.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
That we see.
And you all get a long rest.
Woohoo.
And nothing seems
But at
to
what
happen.
cost?
What cost indeed? What cost indeed? And yeah, it's new
With-
day.
4 of my hours, I would have attuned to my greatsword.
Yes, you could definitely have done that.
And I would have unattuned from the bone for the time being and attuned to the new necklace.
All right.
And I'm gonna reattune to my goggles of object reading
Mhm.
for the time being.
Yep.
And then I also made my greatsword my packed weapon,
Yep.
so I can never be without it. Haha.
Well, if you guys are going shopping, I'll stop Azrael and Ira quick. So I want to make sure that we're traveling safe. We got some interesting things from Hell. Do you two mind if I take a look at the bone and tooth I think you have, Ira? Just to make sure they're safe enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can leave it and I can leave the bone in the
It'll
tower.
probably take me a little bit of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind. Be very careful. It burns. It hurts.
Arcane hand comes out. I hope not to touch it.
Great.
The tooth is kind of part of my wand.
Oh. We can switch. Or do you think you'll need to cast spells for a couple hours?
I wouldn't hope. I would hope we don't have to.
But I should be done by noon. Hopefully. I can start with your tooth.
All right.
I just want to make sure we're safe.
No. I understand. I just that scares me to not have it.
What's the worst that can happen?
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
Why would you say such things in such a moment?
Because the answer to that question is a lot of stuff can happen.
That's a good point. And then I would look at your horn, Jade, but I think we know more or less what it does, unless you think there might be more to it. Do you feel comfortable with it?
I mean, seems fine with it.
Okay.
If you want to look at it, you can.
Do I want to look at it? Sure. Just to make sure.
I can do it too.
Works. Okay. Well, you guys all have fun.
I'm reluctantly leaving my wand with Fiera.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully no one gets attacked. So I guess you can just tell me your guys' plan. Since I presume this is gonna be another somewhat downtimey part of the session. So if there's anything very specific you wish to do, you can just say it. If anyone wishes to do something in groups, obviously let's just mention it. So I guess we'll start with Eric, since you're at the corner.
The armor that I'm looking for, I'd like something to replace the +1 to armor class that we lost from the ring. So anything that might have a little bit of a buff there to AC. Realistically, stylistically, I would like something custom, but because I want it to kind of like be the shape of what I already have, but that probably costs even more money. But yeah, any kind of just sort of advanced armor that that could be an upgrade to what I already have.
All right. So you're basically looking for armor. Then I think we'll just go through the assortment. I guess Fiao, you will spend time just looking at the items.
You have to see if they have any hidden effects that basically identify, won't immediately show.
Yeah. Okay. Then we just kind of skip over that since we know what you're doing. Then Skit. I think you.
I'm looking for armor, and I also need to go to a smith and the jeweler to get the brooch for Jade. But I need to go to a smith and an armorer.
Okay. Oh.
For the smith, I want to give him some gold pieces that he can turn into my last components that I need.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I want better armor.
Okay. And Jade.
I definitely want to upgrade my armor. Because now that I don't have my shield, my AC of 18 is gone. And I was getting beat up pretty heavily even with that. So I definitely want some type of armor. Ideally plate, but I don't think I have the strength requirements for that. And then so definitely some type of armor, and then maybe something that can help make me a little bit stronger. Because I'm still kind of on the weak end.
All right. Then I guess.
Still on the weak end, does like 56 damage with her divine smite.
Well, she's magically potent, but physically a bit.
Yeah, physically I'm fairly weak.
Meanwhile, Fiera and I, without our magic, basically just bitch slap the enemies.
We're NPCs. We are NPCs. Yeah.
We absolutely
even do
are
that?
NPCs. We're like, hey.
What, Fear does nothing when she hits?
I do 0 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
No.
Yeah, I do 0 damage when I hit.
Okay, that's still always funny to me. Okay, then I guess probably the 3 of you who are shopping will probably go shopping together.
Yeah.
And I think the first stop you would go to is, as you have been told, the good old Ventricade of Swords and Brooms with Grayson Wilder, the Leonin lion man dude, who will state he has new things in stock, and it seems like a lot of armory has been filled up. Is that how we call it? Restocked, because of the current war situation. A lot of that is going around, and so he also kind of upped his stock and received some imports from around town. So, actually, this is something you can probably roleplay, because he will introduce you and say, so, in terms of protection, every basic assortment of armor, we have an upgradable version with magical protection. So I can fit you out with those. If you need any specific sizes or cuts that suit your fits more, it will also come with an extra cost of 200 gold, but that can be done. We also have other types of armors that come in different sorts of protection. Not just the standard leather or plate armor, we have magically enhanced clothings that have been enchanted to offer better protection for those who are not well versed in carrying the heavy and more physically limiting armor sets that we have, such as cloaks and shields. And that is the extent to our current growing inventory. So, if you wish to purchase a standard set of armor, it will be 1,500 gold. That will give you an extra boon. Depending on which type of armor, it will cost maybe a little bit more. And if you want a extra cut, that will also add an additional cost of 200 gold.
So I am currently fitted with a very regular, run-of-the-mill, standard issued oh my gosh, where am I from?
Corvalli?
Corvallian leather armor. And I would very much like to have something that is going to better protect me. A lot more than just the standard issued meat slab that I have on me right now. I am not the strongest of us here, clearly. So if you have heavier armor, that's not gonna fly with me. But if you have something in the realm of leather, I could probably manage a studded leather if I push it a little. Something like that would be the best for me.
Very well, that can definitely be done. Any preferences for cuts?
or shapes?
Something that will protect me while I cast stuff. I
Alright.
am not a soldier. I'm very sorry. I am the worst customer out here. I cast magic and transform into a bear in battle. So, yeah.
I understand, don't worry. You're not the first one. We have a couple of druids coming around here. So we do offer studded or normal leather armor that have been magically enhanced to be a bit more durable. We also have some hide armor that comes from a magical beast, and its natural magical properties have been kind of left on the fur, which are then kind of crafted into an armor, which also offers you more protection.
And how much would that hide armor set me back?
That hide armor would set you back 1,600 gold.
That is a very reasonable price, and within my budget, I would be very happy to acquire it.
Alright then. Here you go.
Kind of goes over to one of the mannequins where the armor pieces are dressed, and you can see it's a kind of hide armor, so you can see the pelt seems to be like a light gray brownish tone that it's made out of, kind of knitted together to be like a vestment, so it seems to be a vest that you can kind of wear over other sorts of clothing, and it still has the kind of like ring shaped patterns of fur that the creature had, probably for either intimidation or natural camouflage. And she kind of just takes it off the shelf and then hands it over to you, and as soon as you touch it, you can feel like it looks like fur, obviously, like some sort of hide, but kind of just feeling it, it feels like the fur itself is a little bit more tangy or hard, weirdly. Like if you brush your hand over the fur, it feels a bit more rough than visually appears to be. So that definitely offers a bit more protection. So you can add a +1 hide armor to your inventory and take the 1,600 gold away. Kind of looks over to the other two.
So, what about you lot?
Good gesture.
I
Yay.
personally, I'm kind of fond of the shape of the leather that I've got on now, the studded leather. I was wondering if I can get some kind of breastplate with a little bit like a sort of like a shoulder pauldron going on, something that kind of just covers like the upper half of my torso and the shoulders.
Yes, that's a standard suit that we find around here. So, do you wish to replace your leather armor with a breastplate then? But you wish to keep the form the same?
Yeah, keep the form pretty much similar. I'm pretty fond of that, of this shape. It works really well for me.
Alright. So, a breastplate, magically enhanced. Is that correct?
Yeah, with the addition of the shoulder pauldrons on each side.
Alright, that would run you around 2,300 gold then.
And I would wonder if you can add one more sort of just aesthetic touch, and I'm gonna pull out my Fate Weaver brooch, and I'm gonna say, if you don't mind, right on the chest, can you install this brooch into the armor?
For extra bit of 50 gold, I can definitely do that.
Done.
Alright.
Shakes your hand.
Says, probably we'll have this finished by tomorrow morning.
Amazing.
Alright.
That's will then set you back 2,350.
Yep.
Can knock those off. And last but not least,
So,
Hi. So currently I've just got some fairly basic chainmail. Which has been working really well for me. And I also had a shield, but now my new weapon doesn't allow me to have a shield, so I'm looking for something that will help, like some armor that'll help protect me a little bit better since I don't have that extra benefit anymore. But I don't necessarily have the strength for I don't think I have the strength for plate.
Well, I have a great alternative for you if you have the coin to spare for exactly the, predicament you're in right now. It's a specially developed shield with a special enchantment which would allow you to wield, I presume, your armament with 2 hands without having to worry about the shield while still gaining the effects of the shield.
Kind of brings you over to one of the corners, and you can see it's a very elaborately shaped shield in a typical shield crest shape. And you can see in the middle there's a kind of like 2 intricate wings that have been carved out front. And he picks it out and it says, "This special craft of creation, don't see this very often here, though it is used heavily in the military for special forces or heavy infantry that need better protection, is an animated shield. So what you can do is you can just activate it by throwing it out and saying its word, and then it will actively hover around you and offer you the same sort of protection a normal shield was without having to wield it with both arms."
That is amazing. How much would that set me back?
Well, this special piece of enchantment would set you back 15,000 gold.
Oof. Oh. That's...
Let's try not to kill our players, please.
What's your AC with the 2-hander right now?
16.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I've got that much. Although that would be great. But that's just definitely not in my budget right now.
Well, I also have a different alternative. Obviously, this shield is, quite the price-heavy one, but something that would offer a similar solution, though maybe not as great as the shield itself, that is still light on your shoulders and you can keep the armor you're wearing right now. Is this special robe that we use more often for scouts and light infantry that need to stay mobile, and also for those who have to keep both of their arms occupied. It's a special cloak with a protective enchantment on it. So it offers a similar protective means that just adds to whatever gear you're already wearing.
It shows you a very nice dark green cloak that looked very similar to the cloak that the lieutenant of the scouts was wearing that you met. And you can see that has nice golden rims on the side that kind of go down it, and just shows it to you.
So does it make me more mobile? Like, I'm not understanding exactly what it does.
No, it just adds to the protection you already have, which allows you to stay mobile without having to fit yourself with heavier armor.
Okay. And what does that run?
This would only be 6,000 gold.
Okay. That's more in my budget. I can do that.
All right.
So yeah, I'll take that cloak. It'll help keep me safe.
Yes, it most definitely will.
because of its enchanter properties, you're also a bit more mentally protected. The shield only protects you physically, and also things that affect larger areas, the shield is also able to cloak some of it. And he kind of hands it over to you. And you pay the 6,000 gold?
Yeah.
Then you can add a cloak of protection. Okay. Anything else?
While we're
Yeah, no, it's okay. I now have this leather armor that I will not be using anymore. Any way I can get it off my hands with you?
Sure, I can take it off your hands if you wish. Wish to? I'd buy it for 7 gold.
That's totally fine. I'm not looking to make money out of it. I just don't want to take space in my backpack.
Fair enough.
Gives you 7 gold. Takes you that armor.
And then lastly, are we do you have any magical ammunition, perhaps?
I do indeed. Freshly crafted. I have a couple of highly, well, not necessarily potent, but extremely precise ammunition that adds to the accuracy and damage inflicted.
Perhaps for a hand crossbow?
Yes, hand crossbow, heavy crossbow, bow.
Well, I'd like to see what you have to offer.
All right. Kind of goes to a different area of the shop where he kind of opens up one of the shelves. You can see there are many assortments of arrows, bolts, longbow bolts, and stuff like that. Kind of just decored around, and he takes them out. You can see they're extremely finely crafted with dark wood, probably some sort of ebony arrow that has this very weirdly shaped arrowhead that first looks somewhat brutal. You can see it has like these kind of twisting shapes and like not necessarily shears, but like sharp riveting edges that kind of go along the tip of the arrow, and then very nice kind of finely combed feathers that go at the back, and across the entire arrow you can see very finely inscribed runes as well. And he says, these have been crafted and enchanted with a seeking sort of enchantment, so it lets you more easily hit your target, and specifically vital points, so it also, as I stated, adds to the damage that you can inflict.
That would be helpful, and given the amount of running around I tend to do if we ever fight something.
Alright, well, I have 12 of these, and they go 500 apiece.
$6,000.
Yeah, I will take. I will take 4 of them, please.
Alright, 2,000 then.
And yeah, you hand him 2,000 gold, and you get a 4+3 arrows.
Amazing. Well, thank you kindly.
Thanks in return. Anything else I can help you lot with? You seem to be purchasing quite fine today.
I think that would be it for me. I don't know about you guys.
I think I'm okay for now.
Pretty tapped out. Thank you for all your help.
Pleasure doing business.
Okay. then I guess that concludes this quick shopping sesh. And for that, we will go to Fiera while she is dissecting these scrolls. Okay, which one do you want to start with?
Told Eric I'd hurry with his, so let's start with the Red Cinder Dragon Tooth.
Okay. You can do an Arcana or investigation check, which I think is... Well, Arcana, since it's magical.
Oh boy. What else am I doing today? I guess I'll chronal shift and try to speed up the process. A little bit better.
28.
Just tap it.
Yeah. This seems to be exactly what it is. Specifically, it's a... More interestingly enough, it's the tooth of a dragon. Which obviously the name would reveal. But it's just that. So, what I want to kind of emphasize with me saying this is there's no enchantment placed on it. You just gain powers of the tooth by being attuned to it. Which means, in a more magical sense, you know, when you have a magic item, an enchantment is placed on the object.
You do like lift seals to get like specific effects or to like siphon the power a certain way.
Exactly. And by what happens with this tooth specifically is kind of like the tooth becomes part of you, like it's your tooth. All of a sudden, which, yeah, it's like a very... The innate magical properties inside of this tooth are incredibly high, and that, you know, some part of you fuses with this tooth when you use it or when you attune to it.
Okay. Leave that aside. But it seems safe then. Like, obviously it's gonna become a part of you, maybe eventually if you use it long enough. But it's not gonna change Eric, I guess, mentally. Or like it's not like there's no like soul left over in the tooth.
That is the question. With the 28, what I will say is that it's the you now stumble on the very debate that all wizards at some point will have is you recognize the kind of annihilation field is what you use to access the weave, right? However, there's the theory that the annihilation field is at the same time your soul. So every time you cast magic, you're using your soul. And attuning is nothing more than attaching your annihilation field with whatever object that is. So in that sense, it becomes part of your soul because you're attaching your innate magical properties, which is your soul, with the magic item. So
but with Eirik still being alive, then I would hope that his, you know, annihilation field would probably overcome this one's, and it would be more like becoming part of an Eirik rather than Eirik becoming part of the tooth, obviously.
Yeah, it's one way you
can hope.
Is one way you can look at it, or it just melts together. Whether or not there's a subtraction or attraction, multiplication, or the deviation of how annihilation fields work, you still have no idea. And this is a big question.
And does it work normally now that it's out of hell?
Yeah, you don't see any difference or kind of change of properties since it has left hell versus what it was in hell.
Okay. I will call that good enough and put that aside. And then move on to the bone.
Alright. Okay, yeah, same thing.
Alright, come on. Oh, 23.
23, very nice. Yeah, same thing. It just is magical. any tuning to it gives you
Okay.
things. So nothing has been enchanted on it. It hasn't been tampered with. It is in its original state. However, now that you have looked at two of the sort of same item or from the same location, you recognize a pattern suddenly in the magical aura that they emit. And you're like, oh yeah, this is the magical pattern of the tooth, which makes sense. You know, it's the tooth that is its magical. Someone's going to bed. And now that you look at the bone, you can see it's sort of like a picture that is being drawn, and parts of it seem to fit together. That they're linked. You can recognize, oh, these are from the same source, or the magic comes from the same source. And you can make another Arcana check after you make this revelation.
Oh, that was good.
27. And you recognize, like, it does kind of seem like Annihilation Field. And you have two pieces of one. It's like you're seeing the remnants of a long lost soul. And these are like tiny pieces of it that if you could fracture them all together would somehow, you know, if it's even possible, bring back the complete soul, whatever that may mean. So you're seeing that there are parts of a soul. So, and that's the main difference I'm trying to emphasize that Fiera realizes, is the magic that is coming from these items are the remnants of a soul and not of a magical enchantment.
Right. It's from the being, not from something else. So initially, like when this died, part of its soul still lingered in the bones.
Something like that. And that's also the reason that you recognize why it's still burning. Because it's the effect of the annihilation field of that creature that still remains tethered to these items.
Yeah, so how potent was this creature when it was alive? It's a question. Guess what was the Archfire Spark? I gotta still look into that. What kind of power that is. That's for another day. Yeah, good enough. Put that aside. Then lastly, the Devil Horn. Is there something that they put in this that they didn't tell us about when they gave it to Felicia?
Yep. Make an Arcana check.
24.
24. Good rolls. Yeah, you're looking at it, and actually, I have to really check something real quick. What I will say is, while looking at it, yeah, there is something different about it that you realize, which is you can see as you're kind of just investigating it that there is a small rune inscribed in one of the parts of the horn that kind of overlap each other. And from just your magical thing, you can also see in the magical pattern that there is some tampering that has been done, and that there is more to the horn than what you are currently assessing. And with the 24, I will also say that you can kind of break it down, and it seems like the rune that is there is meant to sort of disable something.
Brain's thinking. Disable something that the horn usually does, or that it disables something of the wielder, I guess is the question.
There you can make another Arcana check.
Oh, those tricky boys. I can roll better, but I can also roll worse. Do I have to take the second roll? I forget. Must use second roll. Do I think 18 is enough? Not really. Let's roll again. Roll a shift. I'm getting lost.
Yeah. You can't really assess because it's still the original enchantment that is kind of overcasting this. Yeah, so it's kind of like yeah, so it's just overriding, and it's hard to see in this arcane net of magics what this
Right.
rune specifically is doing.
Can I copy it?
Yeah, you can attempt to copy it. It seems to be
Okay,
infernal in nature, obviously.
Oh, I don't speak infernal. I'm sure I can like at least draw it, even if I don't understand what it is. I'll try to make a copy then, on like a parchment.
All right. Yeah, you copy it down as best as you can. It's like writing, you know, a different language. It's kind of like, where does a word start?
Okay. I don't have comprehend languages. I don't think anybody knows infernal. Why would they? Okay. Yeah, I will put that aside from the other two. But then maybe wait for everybody to come back, see if they come back. Chill for a bit.
Okay. Yeah. And guess what do the other three then do after you finished your shopping?
I'm gonna quickly stop by the smith to get my golden gilded items that I need.
Alright, what do you need to get gilded?
I need a gilded acorn, a gilded flower, and a gilded vial.
Okay, so then I would say to do that, obviously you have to pay for the labor. Would cost 25 gold. And then obviously the gold costs to gild them.
Yep.
Which...
So I would give them a total of 925 gold.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Very, very costly components. But they will be useful in the future.
And the same smithy would also give you the new brooch or brooch, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yes.
That you had inquired for Jade.
Awesome.
Okay, anything else?
Glamour is making an appearance.
Hmm.
And now he's gone. Goodbye. For me, I think that would be it.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think I need anything.
I accidentally whipped out the cable of my headphones. Good.
We all said we were done.
Okay, I guess you then return back to Fiera.
I did not mean to click that. I don't even know what it was. Oh, I'm not intimidating nobody. I did not mean to click that.
Okay. Yeah, then you'll get back.
Yeah.
Actually, Jack,
Yeah.
on our way back, are there any like newspapers in De La Solis, like local news or whatever that we can pick up?
Yeah, definitely. They have new things going around. That's also what the people are kind of talking about.
Yeah, because after hearing the sort of talk and chatter yesterday about, you know, everyone talking about the feeling a little bit unsettled and whatever, I just want to see if there's any, you know, specific stories perhaps about Suna and Nir, or anything else that we've kind of come across being written.
Yeah. I guess just make a perception check for just looking around. Just to see how much you...
Oh, fuck off!
How does this even happen? How does this even happen? Let's just say you... Yeah.
How do I not find a newspaper? Like, that's...
I think you find a newspaper. In fact, you do actually get something from this natural one, which is that you read a newspaper and it's kind of... the first thing you read is about the rebellion in Yeshimon, and that several of the rebelled crusaders have been caught and executed.
God, Jesus.
And that's where the natural one comes in, is your worry of why you weren't able to contact your parents is now seeping in to that they might have died, and that's why you
There it is. Eirik right now.
are too afraid to continue reading,
Yeah.
as there is also a list of names.
Shit, what? Come on, you can't...
And that's what a natural one does to you.
I mean, yeah, being afraid to find out is the real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I buy the paper? Can I take the paper with me?
You can definitely take the paper with you.
Jesus.
Which a crow steals after you bought it because you bought a natural one, so you can't see it anymore.
How...
That crow was probably a druid that wanted to find out what the news was.
Yeah. It's like, let me see. Okay, he doesn't seem to be watching at it. at all.
Meanwhile, I saw us just flying away with a newspaper in our mouth.
Saved him.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
Insane.
Okay, then I guess you arrive at the Tower of Weird.
Pissed. Ira comes in, he's give me my damn wand.
Nope. Yep, the tooth is fine. I can tell you about it later, but it's fine.
All right.
Azrael, you can have the bone back. That's fine as well.
Wonderful. I'm not going to accidentally import someone else's soul into it.
That seems like an unlikely scenario.
Great. Just referencing back to Yglivar's
Oh,
branch.
right. No. It's probably dead.
Good.
Bad news. They did
Bad
something with the
news?
horn. I can't quite figure it out.
Okay.
I was
would-
actually... Yeah. None of us know how to speak Infernal, right? This rune is very different
Well-
than what I'm used to.
I can kind of understand it since I've attuned to this thing.
Sure, I'll kind of turn it and then point in, at the spot where the rune is. Do you have any idea what this is? It kind of interrupts something. I just don't know what yet.
I'll look at it and try to read it.
Okay, it is an arcane rune, so it isn't necessarily an infernal word. So you can make an arcana check, but it was
I'm
disadvantage.
gonna give myself guidance.
Yeah, that is-
Yes, good idea.
What you said with disadvantage?
Yeah, because none of you is familiar with infernal arcane magics. No, still 12.
With my D4.
Dang, 16.
Wow. Oh.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you look at it for like a few moments. You have some eldritch knowledge. And you're trying to figure out. It kind of looks a bit similar to some runes that you've seen before. And yeah, it seems to as Fia mentioned, kind of disable something, or actually the more fitting word, not disable but weaken something, is what you can best assess. It's a specifically a rune that weakens a certain, not necessarily power, but a state. It weakens a state. It's the best that you can assess. It's like, yeah, it kind of dims a light somewhere, but you don't know where.
So weaken something.
You're good at drawing, Jade. Perhaps you can draw down the rune, and we can look into Infernal or something down at the archives. That might help a little bit.
I did make a sketch. I don't know how good it is.
There you
But yeah,
go.
that was my plan. If we can't figure it out, because yeah, I want to know what their intentions are.
Well,
yeah, I wouldn't use the horn until we figure it out, though.
well, that's fine. I was actually planning on unattuning to it for right now. I got this cool new cloak.
Oh, perfect. Well, I guess if it's okay with you, I'll just keep the horn and look into it then.
That's fine. Just don't lose it, because if you find out that it's harmless, I mean, it was kind of useful.
If
No,
it's
he didn't do much
harmless, I'm
damage.
happy to give it back. Okay, well, I guess what all do you want to do for the rest of the day? I have a lot of scribing and research to do.
Can you, like, teach me how to research? Because I'm quite bad at it. And I'm trying to find out some stuff about my family and how they protected each other, but I don't understand how to research, and I'm just terrible at it. And you're like the perfect one.
I have spent a lot of time here. I can probably help you out. I've studied here before.
Oh, okay.
I was a student of the academy here, so I can definitely help you out, and we can let Fiera focus on her wizard stuff.
Yeah, I have a lot of new spells I'd kind of like to learn. And I still need to find protection from the tower. That's kind of the top of my list. But great. Eric, what are you up to today?
I've got actually a little experiment that I want to try to undertake, so I just need a little bit of space in the tower somewhere, and
you can put out fires, right?
Well, probably.
It's made of wood. Old, dry wood.
I'm sure water can come out of this somehow.
Is whatever you want to experiment made of fire? I should assume yes because you're Iric, but I have to ask.
Made of fire, not specifically. I would love it if it created a bit of fire. If it works
with the chrysalis.
What? No. I'm not using the crystal. No.
Because that could erupt the entire city.
No, God, no. I'm not. No.
Okay. Okay, then I will trust you. All right, sounds wonderful. Well, I'm gonna get some ink, and I'll be at the archive if you guys need me.
Sounds good.
Great. I will also go to the archives, but with Jade, and help you out in your research, and hopefully guide you a little bit on how to research stuff, specific stuff, because it can get a little bit overwhelming.
There's so many layers, and I just don't know where to begin.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I was in your position of about 100 years ago.
Oh, fireworks are going off. Hang on, I gotta close my window.
Mhm.
Oh, is it
Constantly
always-
last week.
Oh, is it the 4th of July? Oh no,
Yeah,
it's not.
yesterday.
It's the
Yeah, it was
6th.
yesterday.
It was yesterday,
Oh.
but
Yeah, it was.
It's the
last
weekend now.
yeah.
Yep. Josh just went to go hide in my closet.
night. Mhm.
Oh.
Okay. I guess that's also where we're gonna start then. With the two girls going to the archive. And y'all can tell me. I guess you're probably looking for the same Jade, or do you try to search for a different topic in hopes that you might find something there?
I would teach Jade to start more broad and then look into more specific once she's found like the general section that she needs.
Mhm.
So I would suggest Jade that first.
Well, I was kind of looking into Shadow Kai's before, and I didn't really find anything, but maybe it's just because I don't know how to look or where to look. Because erase as a whole, that's kind of broad, right?
It is, yes. Shadow Kai's, hold on.
Mostly I just want to figure out how my people would protect each other. I didn't get to learn a whole lot from my family while they were still alive.
I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it. Do you want to learn the history of it? Do you want to learn more the geographical facts? Do you want to look more into the political science behind it? Or like the social aspect of it? There's a few layers that can...
Jack told me, like, the last session that I was doing this at, where there are different stuff at, but now I can't find where I wrote it down.
The different layers, you mean?
No, like, we were looking at one thing, and then you're like, you might find more in this area, and then I forgot what it was. Apparently I didn't write it down. So specifically, Azrael, I'm trying to figure out, like, defense things that my people could have used. So I'm not sure where that would be. Maybe could it maybe be in like unpublished books? Like maybe there's like a journal or something that somebody from my village did? I mean, would that be a smart place to look?
There is that. Okay, what did I try to write when I wrote mech and behavior modern?
Mechanics and behavior of modern days.
Okay. Okay, cool. I don't know why I write abbreviations when I don't even know what they mean. There is that. There is also, it is a social behavior. It is a social thing. It is a historical. Did you look into history books?
I tried, but I didn't really find anything.
So maybe we could give one more shot into the history books, and if we don't find anything here, we could go into the unpublished. If your people were more if your people were more secretive, they might have written that into journals or something that would have been found by historians or something like that, or come into Zephyrus's hands somehow.
I'm trusting you here. You're better at this research things than I am.
All right then, and I will give.
Can I just have advantage if she's actively
Yeah,
helping me search?
that's what I was gonna. I was gonna give like the help action to, and Jade. I was looking for your name. I had like 700 names coming into my head, but Jade was not coming. So I'm gonna give Jade the help action so she can have advantage on her roll.
Yeah. Can have advantage. And how many hours do you wish to spend searching?
Oh man, I don't know. How long should we research?
In this section specifically, like 2 hours
Okay.
is a good amount of time before you call it quits.
Okay, so 2 hours.
Okay, you can roll.
Oh!
My god.
It was either a 2 or a 20.
Yay! I'm teaching stuff.
God damn. Yeah. You find. Yeah. So you are in which section? It was the history
The
section.
second layer. Yeah, the history section, the second layer.
Okay, yeah. So you would find about historical documentation between the meeting of the at the time Archduke of Corda, not Archduke, the at the time Duke of Corda, or one of the Dukes of Corda, with a individual who is a Shadakai by the name of, and it would ring familiar since well, his name is Shunjie Xing, and Xing specifically would ring familiar one because it's also the name of your tribe, which is Guoshen Xing. I will just write it down here. And he was met by the Duke of the time, Veneras Kriegsherren, who I shall also just write for.
Please.
Which it seems to be like a historical documentation of the first encounter between the High Elf Society with the Shadakai Society. And it states that the interaction was very peaceful. That Venerath was in the vicinity of the Ren with one of his platoons investigating a influx of demonic incursion which seemed to have come from the vicinity, where they discovered the ravine again, and there they encountered your tribe while they were investigating the ravine, and then they kind of had an exchange where the Shunjie Xing, who was the leader of the tribe, which then also would be mentioned, which is the name of your tribe, Guoshen Xing, they were the leader of the, at the time for that, kind of told them about the ravine and what they were doing there. So it seems like your society that you grew up with, you know, existed long before you even came into contact with modern society, so to speak, modern society. And they had a healthy exchange, and that specifically Shunjie Xing, the person they met, kind of educated the Duke about the defense mechanisms they use to protect themselves from demons specifically, since their entire purpose in life revolved around fighting demons, which sounds very familiar to how you grew up. Those were also like kind of the tactics that you learned, most specifically to fight with creatures within the ravine, which more often than not included demons. And Shunjie Xing was famed because she implemented a kind of dual-wield shield style, dual-wield shield fighting style, which seemed very odd at the time, especially for the Duke. That, you know, why, like, obviously offensive mechanisms, how would that work if you wield two shields? But it seems like they had a very special kind of martial arts developed around that, which she kind of imparted on some of the soldiers who were accompanying Duke Venerath at the time. And in the historical documentation says that they still practice the teachings of her to this day, although a bit modified for fighting on surface or not within the tight space of a ravine. And that is a fighting style that is now reminiscent for that specific platoon within the Kriegsherren family. Yeah, so there's like a bunch of other, you know, political stuff and how they came together and how, you know, they made arrangements and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's probably the most important kind of information about this specific interaction that you find fairly quickly as you just kind of look for the Shadakai branch area in the history selection, which there actually is a dedicated kind of row of books for that.
So I would share with Izarel, like, the name of my tribe. This sounds like he was part of my tribe, and this Duke, like, it learned from each other. Do you think it would be beneficial to research this fighting style, or the guy from my tribe?
It depends on what you're trying to find exactly. Are you trying to find more about your tribe itself and how they defended themselves, or are you trying to figure out the defense mechanism as a whole, like for the Shadowkai people?
I guess defense mechanisms, like just how did they defend themselves?
In that case, maybe you want to look into, put aside a little bit the Shadowkai and look into that fighting style that she invented or developed or mastered, and see if there's anything else about it that is recorded into history, and perhaps that can lead you to, I don't know, like, this is the style, this is a defensive style that was invented by her, but you can also, you know how, like, in history books, there's often, like, a glossary or something that says, like, see also, like, blah, blah, blah. So maybe as you learn more about this defense style, you can see, like, oh, this gave birth to a little sister defense mechanism, or there's also this style that exists because of that thing that was developed by the mother of your clan.
Okay, so to research more of that, would we have to go to the mechanics and behavior section? Or would it still be in the history section?
I think...
Or... So I feel like this fighting style is probably written down somewhere, so it wouldn't really be an unpublished.
It would not be unpublished. If we found it here in your... in the Shadowkai section, it's probably... because you're not the only Shadowkai person around, you know. I know you guys are a little more private in general, but we've seen others in cities, so it's not like you're actively trying to hide your existence, like Dragonborns, for example.
So I guess mechanics and behavior, would that be a spot?
It could be a spot. It could be a spot.
Mechanic, right?
I mean, it's a defense mechanism, so it is a mechanic.
For the benefit of the ice roll, definitely, modern mechanics literally means like mechanical stuff like clockworks, machinery, stuff like that.
Okay. So maybe not that. Maybe
I have
we.
+0 to my intelligence. Okay, I'm playing up on Jade's lack of intelligence right now.
Here's the thing. Isorel has a +2 in intelligence. Skit has probably a -5. So.
Where should we go next?
That's kind of up to you to decide.
Would Isorel kind of know? Should they stay in this historical part here, or should they move to more into the social aspect? No, it's not in the social aspect. It would be in the historical, right? If we're looking, I don't know. I'm lost.
Can somebody help us figure out if we should stay in this section, look up his fighting style? Because clearly,
I guess
Skit and I are not smart enough to...
I guess here's the thing that Isorel's going to do. She's going to walk out and go talk to O'Toole for help. Here's the +2 intelligence. You know what? I don't know the answer. Let me go ask.
Okay. Otto would confirm that yes, since it's related to the Khazar family, it is with history of political families, and you can probably deduce from there that it has some sort of significance with the Khazar family, since it has been implemented into the military that belongs to their family. So you can probably find it there.
So we
Okay,
can
so we
stay
go
in our
there.
section. Awesome. Okay.
Okay, then
Oh my gosh.
you can make another investigation check with advantage, since you are being helped by Skit, by as well.
No, by Isorel, because if you're helped by Skit, we're gonna be running in circles for hours.
Hey, you're already helping me. I'm rolling better with your help than I was without, so...
A 16. As you start your investigation, yeah, you can find a section about the development of this style and kind of the evolution that has taken with the adaptation to modern military, since obviously your fighting style from your tribe is very unique and specific to their environment, and it also heavily emphasizes that no one actually was able to fully master the two shield style like Shun Jie-Xing, and that she really was the only one who could do it, which is why the soldiers themselves adapted different ways of implementing like techniques from her teachings, but no one was able to master her very technique themselves because no one knew how to fight with two shields. It states that she also used magics of some sort to kind of enforce her style, which is one of the main reasons why no one could replicate it, because she had unique magics, which you know is shadowmancy, to kind of help her with her style, which obviously none of the soldiers from back in the day could even comprehend how to wield and didn't understand it. And that instead they kind of looked at teachings and stuff. And then you kind of skim through, you know, different varieties where they try to replicate some of the style with a one shield style where you kind of block and parry at the same time while having a long sword or a piercing weapon to kind of immediately attack them. And then going through, and the thing that probably interests you the most is they developed a style called the riposte style, which is meant for heavy infantry, which kind of puts a heavy focus on kind of, if you have a heavy armament that is large enough, you can also use it as a defensive mechanism, trying to combine the utility of a heavy attack weapon of causing a lot of damage, but also without foregoing much of the defenses, since you can't build a shield, that you use just the innate property of a big sword as a shield itself and being able to riposte. Since heavy infantry units were always very vulnerable to, you know, faster or quicker attacks, and the defenses had to be lowered in order to wield. This style was developed to kind of get rid of this vulnerability in their fighting style. Specifically, it was developed not only to protect themselves, since that was always a little bit different, but with the large swings, if you manage to do it in the right way, you can kind of create a vicinity of danger, which allows it to protect your allies while you're within their vicinity. So obviously, if you're swinging a big old sword around, people would not want to get in range of the sword, otherwise they would get hit. So using the size advantage that you have with your weapon can create like a zone of protection that helps you protect other people. So what they did is have like a bunch of heavy infantry soldiers with large swords and kind of have them adapt to this style so they could always protect their teammates that are next to them. And that is one of these kind of modern styles that is now being used in the heavy infantry forces of some of the battalions of Corsair.
So I'm going to take detailed notes on this because I want to try on my... When I'm bored, I'm going to try to figure out how to master this fighting style.
Oh,
to help protect myself now that I have this big weapon.
Okay, yeah, you can jot that down as you write down different styles of basically just the techniques that are being used to kind of do that. And with that, I'm gonna switch over to Eirik. I guess, yeah, what is Eirik experimenting on?
Eirik is experimenting to try to create his own magical crossbow ammunition.
Okay.
So he's gonna go outside into the front lawn, and he's gonna start a fire. I'm just gonna take out the my tinder box and some little scraps of wood and just start building a little, basically, campfire. And I'm going to take out some of the petrified wood from the ruins, and I'm gonna burn it, like char it, burn it like all the way down till it's charcoal. And then I'd like to take some of the oil that I bought and mix it with that charcoal to make it become tar. Once that's done, I'm going to take one of my regular non-magical crossbow bolts, and I'm going to cover the tip of it with the tar that I've made. And then I'm going to take some of the bone dust that I took from the bone in hell, and I'm going to sprinkle it on top of the tar so that it hardens into some kind of like tar bone combination around the tip of the bolt. And I'd like to see if that creates any kind of magical effect when fired.
Okay. I guess where are you aiming at? If you test it, do you test shoot it?
Yeah, so episodes and episodes ago, I bought a doll from a general store.
I do not remember, but I trust you that you did that.
It's in my inventory. It was just a one-off thing. You just said it was at a general store, and I was like, I'll just take the doll. So it's a little doll. I'm just going to set it up in the front lawn
Okay.
as my target.
See a couple of guards walking by with a side eye, but they're like, okay. Just, keeping watch. Yeah, then
We're good. We're fine. It's fine. It's just testing.
All right. Keep your testing to your own premises.
I'm here.
Keep an eye out. Gonna walk along.
Unless you have a testing field or something I can use.
Well, we have barracks. We have archer rangers.
Would I be allowed to use that to keep, the regular folk safe?
Gonna look at each other. Guess we're going along, man. Yeah. How about we come with? Better not do this to ourselves, general public.
Great. Easy. I'll put out the fire that I made and
Yeah, you're shivvy over to the South Wing barracks. And they just put you in front of the archer range, and there are other, novice archers and kind of experienced archers testing. And the guys come up with you and they say, "Hey, yeah, he was doing some funny business outside. We just told him it's safer to do it here." All right. How's it going? They just shoot their bows. Okay, you can make a. I guess this. Do you have proficiency in sleight of hand? Probably.
I do.
Then make a sleight of hand check. See how you kind of assemble this.
With advantage?
Yes. Since that is your proficiency. $13.
Oh my good lord. Flash of genius just cuz.
Okay. Yep. 18. You make something. Put it together. Do you set your doll still, or will you just use one of the archer ranger's targets?
Oh, I'm setting the doll.
Okay. Put it there, probably one of where the targets are. Shimmy your way back, load your crossbow. Others are kind of looking at you excitedly. What happens? You shoot. It sticks inside of the doll. Kind of pierces through it and sticks inside. Others kind of, some of them clap. It's like, oh, great shot you got there. Is that some kind of special crossbow? The doll kind of just erupts in flame and just combusts and explodes. And all of them kind of look to the side. What the fuck was that? You're a wizard.
I just a normal person who likes to experiment. We all have our interests.
You built that.
Yeah.
Crazy folk. Witchcraft, I say.
It's not you. Surely this is not the wildest thing you've ever seen.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's good. Like witchcraft means it's really good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Interesting. And then all of them kind of look just like, oh yeah. And then one of the head managers kind of tells him to calm down. So it kind of works, but not in the way you expected it.
Right. Can I go over and inspect the damage? Like, has anything been left on the ground, or like, what does the burn patterns look like?
Yeah, you can make an investigation check. Well, the most obvious thing, which is a bit concerning to you, is the delay. That, it didn't immediately explode on impact, which is a bit worrying, because in that time someone could just pull out the bolt and throw it away, and then, it would be kind of useless. It seemed to be like a regular explosion, and the coating probably on your tar was uneven, so that it kind of sporadically erupted, and it just kind of flew over the place without any sort of, targeting mechanism. So you realize you need a better way to fuse it. Probably if you have like a small arcane rune or a timer that you can attach that will, or pressure sensitive thing that will make it explode. And also some sort of contraption which lets the tar explode in a controlled manner and not just fly everywhere and affect the entire surrounding, if you only wish to have a selected area be affected by the tar.
Right. Okay. Good. There's no doll left, obviously.
Well, there's the lower portion.
Okay. I'll take the lower portion. Can I cast mending on the doll?
Yes, I will allow mending on the doll to have infinite dolls.
Yes. Amazing. Okay. All right. That worked better than I expected on the first try. Cool. So better trigger mechanism, better dispersal mechanism. Okay, I'll go back to the tower.
Okay. I guess leaving your brain to figure that one out.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna switch over to Fiera.
Sure. First things first, I'll poof Glamour in front of me.
You say, oh, I was in the middle of squitches.
Oh, well, you can go back in a little bit. Okay. So, Glamour, you've been good,
Yes.
and I think you should be rewarded for that, so that
Ooh.
you keep doing good.
Why?
So here, and I take out 5 platinum, place in front of him.
Oh,
That's some spending money for you.
I wonder if I can.
Well, that is for you to figure out. You're likable enough. Just be kind.
Alright. I have one small, minor request.
Okay.
I need a cat pouch. You know, so I can carry this gold or this platinum.
Well, here's where the second request comes in. I have a job for you.
Alright.
And by this time, I've changed out of my robe into this. I have a set of commoner clothes I think I bought in souvenir, and I put those on. Here's my robe.
Oh, this filthy thing, yes?
I've cleaned it with that. Okay. I just wave my hand and press the station again. Just
Oh, don't worry,
clean
it's the
up.
aesthetics that's filthy, but anyways.
Would you please help me modify my robe?
Oh, thank God! I thought you would never ask me.
However, you have to stick to what I want to modify.
You know, you cannot limit an artist's vision, you know? It just demeans our craft.
Well, how about I tell you what I want? And as long as you're close enough, I won't turn you into a snail.
Alright. Guess I don't have much of an option, although I am a bit curious how it's like to be a snail.
Anyways, so pretty simple. I want the sleeves removed.
Ooh,
I
I
think
like that.
Not me too. I think it's time to show who I am rather than keep it hidden. So I want my locket to be shown from now on. But also I have this, and I take out the token. I need this to fit in like an armband so I can use it.
Alright. Nah, man, easy enough. It looks quite glamorous. I think I can
It's
fancy.
made from the divine, so I'd hope so.
From the divine,
yeah.
you say? Ah, my clothings are made from the divine.
I gotta look at the emissary picture. I don't know if they had goals. Right, so that's what I'd like changed. You can use that money to buy supplies, and then you can make your own pouch or buy one. It's really up to you.
Alright. I'll see what I can do.
I'm curious what you can do.
Don't worry, I've already educated Tila in the ways of
Oh,
sewing and knitting. Soon she will be a great worker and probably my first employee.
okay. Interesting. Don't make me regret this, please.
Oh, believe me, you won't.
Mm.
That is a glamorous promise.
Wonderful. Then I'll shoot him off.
picks up the 5 gold with his teeth.
5 platinum.
5 platinum, exactly. And kind of runs off and skedaddles.
Right. I'll stop at Ilton's and see how much ink I can buy because I need quite a bit.
Yes. Let me see. Where is my good guy? Yeah. He basically has a full supply, so however much you need, he basically has available.
I'll offer if I buy 2,000 gold worth of ink for scribing, would he, give me a little extra for teleportation?
Ha.
His choice, how much? Just little thank you gift, like like when somebody gets like a tier of buying, they get like a bonus rewards system.
Yeah, and how much would that be for teleportation?
It's 50 gold per teleport.
Ah, okay,
Circle.
50 golds. I would say, yeah, he would. For 2,000 gold, he would give you an extra 50.
Oh, okay. I'll take any. I mean, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah, I'll buy it all then.
Buy it all, buy it all.
Remove. That's most of my money. I got some, but okay. Stocked on ink, wizard ink. Buy all in town. Okay, now let's go to the archive. Not 100% sure what layer this is gonna be on. I assume it's modern arcana, so 6. I'm just gonna look for that anti-divination spells. Abjuration.
Yep. Making... How many hours are you spending searching?
I really need to get this done. Let's go with the rest of the day, like 8 hours. Just give it a good look.
Oh.
Find the best of the best.
Yep. Then you can make an investigation check.
Investigation. 12.
Well, lucky for you, you're spending a lot of time. So, which funny enough, I have a system on depending how much hours you spend that lowers the DC because it increases
Okay.
So I would just say that the DC was exactly 12 because you're spending 8 hours. So I find it's quite hilarious. So you're spending all 8 hours actively searching through there to get what you want. Yeah, you find the main kind of anti-scrying divination spells or anti-divination in general spells, which you have already sent me the ones you're looking for, and it is customary that these have been developed throughout the times, especially from the side of Azathia, that they were at some points afraid that the Holy Lichenius was kind of peeking in on them, and so they had wizards specifically.
Which they probably were.
Most likely specifically develop these spells to kind of at least have a protective insurance. Especially the Inquisition makes heavy use of them to kind of have targeted individuals or people or like VIP peoples when they're being transported, also, protected so they can't be seen. Yeah, so you can definitely. Unfortunately, I do not see the DM you sent me of the spells you wanted to see.
Yeah, it was non-detection, which is a 3rd level, and then private sanctum, which is a 4th level.
Non-detection definitely, and I would say private sanctum they would also have.
Okay, I'll be staying late then because it's going to take a while to scribe these down, but I'll do it. So I'll probably be here overnight.
All right. Then we will go to Isorel. Anything you would be searching for after you helped out Jade, and she's busy kind of noting down the defense techniques? I can't hear you. I think you muted.
Oh, sorry, I was speaking in the ether. While Jade is writing down her stuff about her people, I would like to search. I have so many things. Yeah, since we are in the history section and I want to stay kind of close to Jade in case she needs me, I will quickly make a search about Alitura specifically.
Okay. How long do you wish to spend?
I'll spend about 3 hours on it.
Okay.
Oh, would I run into Izarel or Jade in the library?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll just pull her aside really quick. We're probably both like gathering books. Izarel,
Yep.
I do have something for you. Do you remember when we were back in hell? Okay. And we found the big mural,
Yes.
specifically the mural with the gods.
With all the thing you floated up to go and write down?
Yes,
Yeah?
that one.
Yep.
So I made some notes that might take interest for you. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but I'll take out parchment that I kind of scribbled the gods' names under for her, specifically checking to send it. And I hand it to you, and I'll send you it on Discord. I'll send it to Jack too.
Okay.
The Jack 2.
Oh, yeah. Specifically.
Send it to Jack 2 too.
2.
I'll send it a second here. But you might be interested in these. There's a creator card lady. Oh boy, how to pronounce it? Creshier? Creshier? I'll have to look up the pronunciation. But she was the creator above Servalon. So yeah, you can have fun with that, and I guess I'll be here if you need me.
Just dropping that by, and I'm just like stuck in the moment, like.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Different kind
Just
of
gotta find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rainbow skits.
That's
Oh.
me. Woohoo.
Okay.
So yeah, I will be looking for that. I guess investigation time, right?
Do you wish to add that to investigation?
No,
Okay.
I am putting that in my pocket, and I'm like, this is for another time. I have something else in mind.
Alright. So you're continuing the original.
Yep. Yes.
So 3 hours, you say? Alitua?
Yes.
Yeah, then make an investigation check.
Please, don't fail me.
Yes.
I mean, it's.
And you said
I mean,
history,
I'll take it.
right? History, right?
Yes, I am in the history section. Like, I don't want to stray too far away from Jade. Isarel is conscious that she might not find the most information here, but she's like, while I'm here, I might as well take a look and see if I can find anything.
Yeah, you kind of look around and you find in your entire 3 hours not even the singlest hint of Alitua in any way, shape, or form. You can see that most of the history stuffs here only go back around maybe like 1,000 years max to the Age of Chaos, which is everything post Draconic Age, as you know, and you know, yeah, this isn't part of modern history as far as you're concerned.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that would be it for Isarel. Then she would then just be on standby with Jade and perhaps helping her with her notes or something. But like she's like,
Yeah.
I was conscious I might not find anything. That was just to like
Yeah.
keep busy.
Yeah, an attempt made.
Yeah.
Okay, then we will return back to Iwick. Is you muted, by the way?
I don't necessarily think I have anything that I can continue working on the ammunition. Can I? I'm gonna go and pull out the tungsten that I bought, and I'm going to cast Identify with my goggles on it and see what I can breed from it.
Okay, yeah. Cast on it. It's ice tungsten. It is very, 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 very cold. Found in the shifting ice next to Heems. Yeah, and it itself doesn't have any, magical properties other than being extremely cold. So it says that it's like I said, a material. You can do something with it, but if you just left it, it would just be cold.
Do I have any information about how to manipulate it, how to work with it? Like, did I work with it before? Does Identify give me any information like that?
You can make a history check. $17. Yeah, you have encountered before in your times of Yeshimon, obviously in the raging heat and needed things to cool stuff down. And often this was a very reliable source of cooling if they didn't have a ice chrysalis at hand. Often the insides of furnaces were kind of lined to kind of or the insides of like heavy machineries where it would run the risk of melting the iron itself. This was placed inside of. It functions like normal iron, just in a sense. Obviously, normal iron you have to melt in order to, make it, which means you have to heat it up, which obviously will be extremely difficult if you have something that is literally made out of, ice. And it's super dense, which means it is very, very heavy. So one of the actual properties of this tungsten is that it's extremely stable. So it's very difficult to change its shape. So because the amount of heat required to kind of reshape it or to actually forge it, you have to bring it to 0 degrees Celsius in order to kind of change its form. And it itself is like probably around, average minus 100 degrees Celsius passive, just standing there. Yeah, so you just have to find a way to heat this thing up. Just see Skits giggling away. Yeah, so you just have to heat it up with something that's
A fire chrysalis?
potentially a fire chrysalis.
Yeah. Great. Cool. Excellent. Yeah. I'll figure out a safe way to do that.
You can make an Arcana check actually, since to see what other arcane functions you could do from this elemental block. 22.
Minus the D4. I don't.
Okay.
Again, I don't know why that D4 is coming up because of my.
Yeah,
Hang on. It's because of a thing, but I don't think it applies in this situation.
Let's double check.
Yeah, it's artist intuition when I'm making ability check involving artisan tools. So no, it's minus the d4.
Okay, so how much minus would that actually be?
-2, so 20.
Okay, so the d20. Yeah, so things you can do without having to alter its shape is build a contraption around it that will enhance or harness the innate cold energy inside of it. It is dense because the cold energy is kept inside. It functions like a child's version of a chrysalis, where you can kind of activate it or harness the cold energy stored inside. However, you don't run the risk of it accidentally going terminal nova. That definitely won't happen with a ice tungsten. However, you can increase the kind of cold area that affects. So, like common things in a very base way that this is used is for like cooling rooms, like fridges and stuff like that. If you don't wish to use a ice chrysalis, or massively expanding a area in cold for a brief moment, that's also a possibility. Like creating a dome of cold that freezes anyone within its vicinity, and stuff like that, or having you know, a kind of sort of cannon contraption and put it at the funnel, and then, you know, using the cold to have a cold wind blast instead of just a normal wind blast, so turning force into cold damage, stuff like that. Different utilities there, or have it as a power core that powers through kind of cold energy instead of heat energy, which is very difficult to do, but also one of the things that can be utilized.
Interesting. Did the tooth, the dragon tooth that I have, it was warm to the touch, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But not hot that it would burn me while I'm using it. Can I just touch the tooth to the tungsten and see if it, like, does it immediately cool the tooth?
There's a fight of two magics as you bring it closer, and you can see it's almost like a magnet as you bring these two together, that they repel each other to a certain degree, where the heat kind of hits the cold and it's kind of creating a little bit of touch. Not like enormously, like you can't put them together, but you feel this a little bit wavy as you get a little bit closer. And visually, as the tooth gets closer, you can almost see like vapor appearing as it gets closer and closer. Just the proximity from the heat to this cold temperature is causing the air around it to heavily shift, and also create a small current which lifts up the vapor and then starts creating this larger, almost like mini tornado spectacle around you. And when you bring it closer, you do notice that actually the tooth in this case is winning against the tungsten. As you get much closer, you feel that the tooth isn't cooling versus the tungsten block is warming up a tiny little bit.
All right. I'll pull it apart. Just don't want anything to like explode or anything. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's enough for now. That's enough to start me working on new drawings.
Okay. Then I guess that concludes everyone's kind of duties for the day. And I guess, Fiera, you're just scribing all the way.
Yeah, I probably won't finish till like after midnight.
Okay.
Isarel is gonna take a look at the list that Fiera handed to her and just internally start laughing, which is why I was giggling. And be like, yep, I know this one, 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 and just go down the list and be like, I know all of them, and then go like, wait a minute, these two I don't know, and kind of, you know, put an emphasis on them. Be like, okay, I need to know a little bit more about these two.
Okay. Then that concludes this day. And I think probably Fiera finishing up her studies was in the archive. And Jade, you kind of surmising that you noted down most of the martial arts teaching of the riposte style. And as we were returning with notes that Fiora gave her, kind of mumbling around, and Eirik was his head full of new ideas with his cold cube. Which is kind of funny to say. And that is also where we're going to end today's session. On a very, very quiet note. Very peaceful note.
Chill.
Nice and chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was basically a half shopping episode. Again. Which we always love.
Enjoying our time off.
It happens when you give people 50,000 gold.
Yep.
Yes, I am aware.
I have found a way to spend all of my gold except a few hundreds.
Jeez. I'll probably spend half by the time I'm done, just on spells.
I'm technically actually short for my last component.
Oh gosh.
We got 10k in the chest.
Yeah.
What was it for? If it's something important, life-saving.
Jade might not agree with it.
Ooh.
To summon your spirit.
It is to summon my dragon spirit, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. It is a Hail Mary, and Iserel definitely does not intend on just summoning the freaking dragon for no reason. But it is a good thing to have in your pocket whenever you need it.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But basically now I can summon Beast, I can summon Fae, I can do Stone Skin. At some point, with some research, I can learn to conjure an elemental. Isorel doesn't know how to right now, but she could if she learned the way to. She can awaken. She can cast Greater Restoration. If, again, in a Hail Mary type of situation, if we were to cast, for example, if Jade was to summon Felcal and we feel like we need him around for a little bit, I can bind him to our plane
Oh,
my
that's
for
God.
30 days. Because I
Oh,
do have
30
Platter
days?
Bind. Yeah, for 30 days.
Oh,
Jesus.
Again,
take him like to a training facility.
yeah. So,
Oh
again,
my
this
God.
is a Hail Mary situation. This is not something Isara would just like be like, oh yeah, let's just keep Felcal around for no reason.
Jeez.
That's an end game thing.
Yeah, it
I
is.
thought to look into
It
that
definitely is. Like when we're fighting the big bad guy or whatever. Like, okay, I'm gonna summon my dragon and we're gonna summon Falcal. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
bind him here,
Yeah.
type of situation.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be ready for that. I can scry, and yeah, soon I'll be able to summon my dragon.
Jeez.
So
All the juice
it
stuff.
was a lot of money, but again, this is for
Yeah,
for the team.
lot of costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this I think was the most stationary episode. I think not much revelations were done. I think you kind of kept in your own space and you just educated yourselves on things you already knew, which is, a comfortable change. Don't always have to expand the views of the horizon. Which also goes to show that you guys are growing now. Not everything is gonna surprise you now.
We're learning a lot, yeah.
Still found a way to add 2 more tabs to my notes.
Yep, that still happens. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna leave this off here, and we'll continue the, research episode. If you love research, like and subscribe. If you love my lore, definitely like and subscribe.
Yes.
Yes.
And the very compelling philosophical debates that we have here with the consequences of abusing Shadowmancy and see if that maybe can come back and have its pause. And now also having educated a new youngster wizard in the arts of Shadowmancy, Tenaya. Let's see how that might impact this session.
Future big bad.
Boom, 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 boom. And also the extremely complicated names of Jade's tribe, which are Chinese.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. You know.
I thought I got away from not knowing how to say a character's name when I left Arya's last name because I could never say her last name. So now I just can't even say my tribe's name. So
I don't even want to venture into trying to actually say it because I do not want to be insensitive to people who speak Chinese.
No, it's fine. It's a fantasy world. It's not
Yeah.
Chinese. It just sounds similar. Okay, before we go, everyone has to at least once try to pronounce the name that is in chat. Okay, starting off with, as usual.
God. Junji Jing.
Okay.
Oh, am I next?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Chunji Ching.
Okay, interesting.
If I remember correctly from when I learned to count in Mandarin,
Oh.
which was 12 years ago. Shun Xiu Xing.
I would say the best attempt so far. Okay.
and then Unji King.
Okay. I mean, it's close enough. It's close enough.
Those are 4 very different ones.
Yeah, it's Chun Jie Xing, so you have to pronounce the E in the G part. And that's about it. I think the rest you got pretty good. You guys just also just call it Xing. Xing. Like
Yeah.
shingles. Exactly. Which you all love and have. Anyways, before we get cancelled any further for having shingles, we're gonna say goodbye for now and see you next week. Bye.